What's up, folks? We are live. It's your boy Kelly, your certified holistic nutritionist, coming to you straight from the airways of Houston, Texas. How we doing today, folks? A couple of folks joining us, man. How was your weekend? Let me put my other mic over here. How was your weekend, folks? Do something fun? Let's see. Make sure we all set up over here. Okay, we're live. How we doing, man? How was your weekend? Did y'all do something fun? It's your boy Kelly coming to you straight from the airwaves of, as we do each and every day, except for Sunday, Monday through Saturday, 7 a.m. ish, between 7 and 7:15 ish, depending on when I can get my studio set up, and or if I'm having technical difficulties. So 7 a.m. to 11 a.m. Central Standard Time, Monday through Saturday. Right? What do we talk about? 7 a.m. to 11 a.m. Central Standard Time, Monday through Saturday. Here's what we talk about. Talk about all things type 2 diabetes. So insulin resistance, prediabetes, gestational diabetes, PCOS. Man, we talk about all of that. And we get it taken care of. How do we get it taken care of? We get it taken care of by doing the work. That's what we're going to have to do. We're going to have to do the work to get rid of it. It's just not going to magically poof itself away. The diabetes, the high blood sugar and all of that. It's not just going to poof itself away. So we actually got to do something to make it go away. So that's why you see up here, diabetic meds aren't the only answer. They aren't the only answer. What's the I don't even say if they're only the answer. What's the real answer? The real answer is the work. The work that you got to do, and it's called lifestyle medicine. That is the work that most people don't want to do because it involves change. Change is like, woo, we're going to talk about change. So that's going to be the theme of the live today, folks. We're going to talk about all things change and avoidance. That's what we're going to talk about. That is the theme of the live, folks. How we doing, folks? Tap in with me. Let me know where you're from. Got a couple of folks from all over the place, right? Got people from over here as well. So we're all over the place, right? We're live everywhere. We're live on all of the networks, folks. Do me a favor, bebop that screen, double tap that screen. Let me double tap that screen, share this live out with anybody that you know struggling with diabetes, pre-diabetes, gestational diabetes. Man, that's just how we get down. That's how we roll. Because that's what we talk about. And we're gonna give whole lessons. We're gonna be on here for almost 4 hours. It's gonna be on here about three and a half to 4 hours, right? We'll be out of here at 11. And what are we going to talk about? We're going to talk about all things A1C. What the heck's an A1C? Yeah. We're going to talk about what else? Lifestyle medicine. Like I said, the thing that most people avoid is the lifestyle medicine, is the work that they're going to have to do in that area. They're like, no, bro, I don't want to do that. I'd rather avoid that. So that's going to be the theme of today's live, folks. It's called, what is the theme? Let me see. I wrote the theme down. The theme is what you resist will persist. That is the theme of today's live, folks. What you resist will persist. Who am I? My name's Kelly, Certified Holistic Nutritionist, coming to you straight from Houston. Going to the Monday night football game tonight. It's in Houston, so Monday night, the team that I cheer for, Tampa Bay Bucks, they're in town. Woo, they're in town in Houston. I live in Houston, but I'm a Bucks fan. And they're in town tonight for Monday night. So look for me at the game. When you turn on the TV tonight, look for me at the game. I'll be the guy doing this with the big Bucks chain on. That'll be me. But anyhow, let's get to it. Who am I? Certified Holistic Nutritionist Health Coach. Wasn't always a nutritionist. Wasn't always a health coach. Because a few years ago, I was in the worst shape of my life. I was a diabetic. I had heart disease. And I was obese. The triple whammy, folks. Then, thank you for the daily heart me. Then, so that was all at the very same doctor's visit, folks. It was like the hat trick. If you've ever watched hockey, that means if you score 3 goals in one game, that means that people are going to celebrate you. People are going to be like, you did a great job, fam. That you did a fantastic job. But here's the thing. When I got that diagnosis, it wasn't a fantastic job, Kelly. You did a great job. Yeah, you did do a great job. You did a great job of digging a grave with your teeth. That's what you were doing. You were digging a hole up to the grave. You were digging it with your teeth. Right? That's what I was doing, literally. Because it was every day. It was dang near double cheeseburgers with extra pickles and a small fries. I'm hitting up all the fast food spots. I'm eating all the gummy worms. I'm eating it all. So yeah, that was it. We're washing it down with the Mountain Dew. Here it is. Here's the guy right here. Here's the guy. And then, folks, how I run my lives is I'm going to introduce myself. Then I'm going to get to your questions. If you don't have any, then once we're done with your questions, then we're going to go to the board. And that's when class is in session. And then we'll come back. We'll get to your questions. It's just going to be a whole process, right? But anyway, gotta let you know who I am before we get started. The guy up here talking. Here I am. Here I am before and after. Look at that. Before and after. I'm going to show you some before and afters of me. Look at that. That was me in 20, I don't know what year that was, 20 something. That was maybe 10 years ago. But this was 2019. Yeah, that was 2019 right there. In the 2019. Right? That was right when I got my diagnosis. You see, that was the last picture I took before I got my diagnosis. Can you imagine that? The last picture I took before I got the diagnosis of diabetes, heart disease, and obesity. Oh, let me show you over here. Sorry, folks. Let me look at that. Look at that. Look at that. That was the last picture I took before. Look at that. Look at my hands. Look at where they were. Last picture. These were the last pictures I took before I got my diagnosis of being a diabetic, having heart disease, and being obese. You can look at my stomach and tell that I had a pretty healthy stomach. You can tell that it was a challenge for me to tie my shoes, right? It was a real challenge to tie my shoe. More pictures. Look at that. I don't know how to close this part. I did something. Here we go. Look at that. So that's it, folks. That was who I was. I got more pictures too, but that's just something, right? Look at that. Look how many inches I lost off my waist. And this is all, folks, after I stopped avoiding what I had to do. What is it that I had to do? I had to do the work. Last one. Last one. Here's the last one. Here's what I had to do, folks. I had to do the work. I had to stop avoiding it. Because I told you the theme of this live today is what you resist will persist. So what did I decide to do? I decided that I was going to avoid all of this stuff. And as a result, I was going to avoid doing the work. I was going to avoid eating healthily. I was going to avoid getting out and moving my body because that's where diabetes comes from, folks. Not moving your body, eating a bunch of crap, as I call it. Where else? What else? Sleep. Sleep is off. And then stress management. Woo! It's a cool little acronym that I created. It's called the PACE formula or the freedom formula. Peaceful mind, active body, clean eating, effective sleep. Maintain your pace, PACE, peaceful mind, active body, clean eating, effective sleep. You get those areas right, I promise you. How much you want to know how much medication I took you want to know how much medication I took when those pictures I just showed you? You want to know how much to get rid of all of the weight, to get rid of diabetes, and to eliminate heart disease? You want to know how much medication I took? I took a whole lot of medication, a lot of it. I'm talking about all day, every day. I'm taking medication. It's like everyday medication. But it wasn't the kind of medication that you think that it is. It wasn't that kind of medication. Not the one that they give you at the prescription for. This is the one I had to write for myself. That was lifestyle medicine. I didn't take any medication when I lost all of the weight. When I reversed diabetes, I didn't take any medication. Why? It's because I knew that the medication did not cause me to become a diabetic. I knew what caused me to become a diabetic was this. And it was me being a couch potato. It was me binge watching Netflix. It was me taking a big bag of, this is what I used to have for dinner sometimes, a big bag of gummy worms. Big old bag of gummy worms. And I'd eat that for dinner. And then I wash it all the way down with a healthy drink, a Mountain Dew. Then I would sit on the couch. I told you I'm going to the game tonight. I'd sit on the couch in my recliner with my feet up, watching the Bucks game, watching the Bucks play, eating gummy worms. And then I wonder why I went to the doctor And then I was diagnosed as being a diabetic, having heart disease and obese. Go figure, right? So that's it, folks. That's it. That's my story. The question is, what's your story, right? That's what we're gonna uncover. We're gonna uncover this whole live. We're gonna be here another 3.5 hours. We're gonna break down lifestyle medicine and how do you actually fix it? How do you actually bring down your A1C? It's not an easy process, folks. Most people are just like, Kelley, you're taking too long. Just tell me what it is. How do I do it? Well, here's how you do it. It's the ultimate shortcut. Show up, do the work, do it again tomorrow. That's it. That's how you do it. That is how you get rid of. That is how you get off of medication. You're like, how do I get rid of pre-diabetes? Well, same way. You show up, you do the work, and you do it again tomorrow. Until you do that, your pre-diabetes is gonna hang around for a while. All right, and it's eventually gonna graduate. It's gonna graduate like it did for me. It graduated to full-fledged diabetes. And then the doctor said, as soon as I hit a 6.5, the doctor said, congratulations, here's your consolation prize, metformin. Okay, here we go. Let's see. Let's get to some of these questions. See if y'all got any questions, folks. And then, let's see. I got some questions right here. Let's see. And then we're gonna get to the board. All right, let's go back to the question. We got some questions, man. Let's go back. Let's see. All right, let's see. I missed some. All right, let's start at number 1. Let's see. Good morning. What's up, Al? What's up, Al? How you doing? Want to announce that I'm waking up to a 124 blood glucose level? Okay. Man, those are pre-diabetic numbers, Al. What was it before? Because I know it was higher before, but now you're waking up instead of 124. Woo! And that's just after a short period of time. Man, love it, Al. Woo! Uh, V wagon. All right, awesome. Yeah. Need help with mine? There we go. If you need help, hang out. Hang out. Hang out. Awesome. Need help with mine. Last day of the 14-day challenge. Woo! From fasting 282 to today 102 with It's Working. Kim, that's beautiful. Kim, would you like to come on and share your story? It's your last day. Come onto the stage and share your story. We'll get it. If you want to come onto the stage, Kim, put a yes in the chat. Put a yes in the chat, and we'll set up a time for you, maybe like in an hour or so, to get you to come up on stage and share that story about your experience in these 14 days. From a 282 to a 102 in 14 days, fasting blood sugar? What? How do I sign up? You sign up by clicking the link in my bio. You click the link in my bio, folks, and register. That's where you register, folks. You can register for the everything right there. Right? We'll talk about that, right? We'll talk about. I'm gonna see if my moderator can show you where to sign up. Jago. What was the work? Here was the work. The work is called lifestyle medicine. Like I told you before. Peaceful mind, active body, clean eating, effective sleep. That's the work. I'm gonna put that up on the board. That's the second lesson of the day. No. A1C. Yeah, and then the second lesson of the day is the work. We're gonna find out what diabetes is. We're gonna dive deep into it, and then we're gonna find out what the work is. Cardio, exercise. That's it. I had to change my eating and activity and active activity habits as well. Yeah, amazing, Manda. That's what you got to do. It's a big old. It's a formula. It's a lifestyle medicine. It's every area of your life. We're gonna talk about that. It's taken me 2 months till high blood glucose level started to level out. Good area. Yeah, sometimes it can take a while. Sometimes it can take a while. Anything for PCOS. PCOS is the exact same thing. That's where we're talking pre-diabetes, gestational diabetes, PCOS, type 2 diabetes. It's all pretty much the same stuff. It's just insulin resistance. PCOS is nothing but insulin resistance of the ovaries. That's all it is. Same thing. Ultimately, you know what the answer is? You're still going to have to change your stress. It means you just got too much insulin flowing through. Right? We have to figure out how to bring that down. How do we do that? Same way. The other way. The other way. The other way is doing the work. Stress management, activity, eating, sleeping, all of that. Hormones. I'm going to show you how to fix that today. All right. Yeah. Let's see. Any more questions? Then we're going to get to the board. So after being full diabetes, were you able to get off metformin? I didn't even take it. He offered it to me. My doctor said, my medication, here you go. He offered it to me. And I said, you know what, doc? I went home and I thought about it. And I said, you know what, doc? That's a real nice offer, man, for you to offer me that metformin. Real nice offer. But I decided, you know what? I'm going to do the work instead. I took a prescription, but I didn't even go fill it. Let me say that. I didn't go fill the prescription. Instead, I just decided to do the work. My A1C is a 6, 8.6. Can it reverse? Absolutely, it can. Absolutely, it can, right? We just said somebody just came on and said, Kim just came on and said, went from a 282 to a 102 in 14 days. She hung out with me for 14 days and went from a 282 to now she's at a 102 and she's at the last day. She's on the last day of her challenge. So tomorrow, she's probably going to wake up tomorrow and that thing's going to be, we're going to ring that bell. It's going to be below 100, right? I want to see if she wants to come on. Type 2, Clifton, I got you. I got you, man. I got you. Jamaica. James, 64. I'm 64. 12% body fat. Work out 5 days a week. Blood glucose is dropping in the 50 range. Couple times a day. What is your A1C, my good sir? What's your A1C? That's what I want to know. I'm taking metformin, Ozempic at the same time. Is that okay? I'm a type 2. If you want it to be okay. If you want it to be okay, it's okay. But if it's not okay, then I can show you a different way. I can show you. It ain't gonna be easy though. It ain't gonna be easy. You're gonna have to do some work. If you're okay with that. But if you're okay with the Ozempic and the what was the other one you said, metformin, then if you're okay with it, then that's okay. Type 1 for 22 years has a mind of its own. Yeah, type 1 is totally different animal. Totally different animal. I mean the symptom is the same, high blood sugar, but the how you got high blood sugar is totally different. Type 1 autoimmune condition. Type 2 diabetic, we mostly did that to ourselves. Lifestyle, right? Lifestyle, the work that we're gonna have to do. We're gonna have to change our lifestyle, folks. And it's a formula. We're gonna talk about that formula. Questions, and then we're gonna get up here to this board. All right, thank you. Tawana, New York, type 2. Diabetes, name is Vincent. What up, Vince? Not diabetes, have plenty of signs. Oh, A1C down to 6. Great, just followed you. I appreciate the follow, April. That metformin is strong. I only could take 1 or 2 a day. Be expected to have watery number 2s. Okay, Amanda. Like I said, if you're okay with that, Amanda, I can't say anything. But if you're not okay with all of that stuff you just named, then something's gonna have to change. The question is, so here's the thing though. For things to change, you're gonna have to change. That's the real question. Are you ready to change what actually caused the insulin resistance, or why you got to take all that stuff? And the cause of it was because of we avoided some things in our life. And we're going to talk about the avoidance, everything. Do me a favor, folks, and bebop that screen, man. Bebop that screen. Share this live out with anybody that you know struggling with diabetes. Struggling, man. Pre-diabetes, gestational diabetes, all of that. Right, here we go, folks. All right, last of the questions. We're going to get to the board because the questions are going to come in. It's going to be a lot of questions. They keep coming in. I would never stop. Okay. I took metformin. Okay. Oh no, metformin almost took me to the ER. That's only when I took 3 doses. Glucose is not, the questions keep coming in. So we're going to have to get to the board, folks. I'm also going to try metformin, but extended release so the restroom isn't probable. Oh, you're going to try it. Okay. You ever tried lifestyle medicine, Texas girl? You ever tried that? This is what we're going to talk about. A1C, folks. Put the word A1C in the chat, folks, because we're getting ready to start learning about all things A1C. Couple things I say I'm gonna take y'all to. I'm gonna lift this up over here. I got 2 cameras, right? And then I'm gonna bring this board. Couple things, folks. While I'm doing this, folks, you can couple of things you can do. Folks, you can take the quiz. You've taken the quiz. If you have not taken the quiz, go take the quiz while I'm setting up the board right here. I'm gonna get back to your questions. I'm gonna get back to your questions, folks, when we get away from the board. But right now, class is in session. And when class is in session, I can't really get to the board right now. I mean, I can't really get to the questions, but trust me, I will come back and we're gonna get to the questions. Here we're gonna talk about a couple of things we're going to talk about. I'm going to take you through a two-part series, two parts. First, I'm going to tell you what, put the word, anybody put A1C in there? Throw the word A1C in there. We're going to talk about A1C. A1C. If you want to know what A1C is, put the word A1C in the chat. Well, hang out, Texas girl. I got you. Hang out, and we're gonna talk about what it means to have diabetes, what does it mean to have a high A1C is, and then number two, we're going to talk about how to bring it down. The work. I always talk about the work, right? The work that you're going to have to do. What work is that? And most of the time, when I tell you what the work is, most people are gonna be like, "I ain't doing that work, Kelley." It sounded good, but I'm not doing that, bro. Let me lift my mic up here. You be like, "It sounded good, Kelley, but I am not doing that, bro." Here we go. But what you resist, I promise you, it will persist. A1C, A1C. Here it is. There we go. Here we go. Here we go. A1C. All right. First thing, folks. First things first. We got to understand what this is. We got to understand what we're facing. We got to understand who the villain is. We got to understand the villain first. The very first thing to defeating type 2 diabetes is knowing your enemy. And here's your enemy. Hemoglobin A1C. What is it? Your enemy is insulin resistance. But here it is. Hemoglobin A1C. What the heck is it? Oh, yeah. It's only just, who's ever gone to the doctor? Do me a favor. Put it in the chat. If you've ever gone to the doctor and they say, listen, you're anemic. You got low iron. Who's ever gone to the doctor and gotten that? And put a me in the chat. If you've ever gone to the doctor and they say, listen, you're anemic. And you're like, Doc, why am I always tired and all that stuff? And they're like, all right, well, let's pull some labs. And they say, yeah, your hemoglobin is low. You got low iron. Yeah. Anemic, me. Yeah. Put a me in the chat if you know about that. If you know about or you heard something about that. Yeah, we got some me's, a lot of me's in the chat. All right, cool. So hemoglobin, the word hemo means iron and oxygen, rich blood, basically. Iron and oxygen rich blood every time you breathe. I don't know how long you've been on this live, but I know you've been on this live for at least like 20 minutes or so, 15 if you've been on, even if you just jumped on. You've taken a bunch of breaths, and every time you breathe, folks, hemoglobin is in full effect. And if your hemoglobin is thrown off, if it gets too low, you can start getting into the danger zone. So hemoglobin is iron and oxygen rich blood. Literally every time you breathe, oxygen rich blood needs to go to every cell of your body. Literally, it's literally. The word globin means protein. There is a protein carried. A protein is carrying the oxygen rich blood through every cell of your body. Your whole body is built on proteins and all of that, right? So that's hemoglobin. So it literally means, in simple terms, it literally means the life that you breathe, the oxygen that you breathe, your life, basically. Okay? That's what hemoglobin is. So the word A1C is how much sugar was stuck to your hemoglobin over the past 3 months. How much sugar is stuck to your hemo? I use the word stuck on purpose. On purpose. Stuck to your hemoglobin. Why? It's because it's like this. That's sugar. That's sugar. Imagine this. Imagine, I got these little sugar cubes over here. I'm not going to do it right now, but I got these little sugar cubes over here, and you put this sugar on your hand. When I pull those cubes out and it gets real, real sticky, and I throw it away, and then my hands get real sticky, and you got to try to wipe it off. Or if you take a Jolly Rancher, or not even a Jolly Rancher, a Tootsie Roll Pop, right? I grew up in the 80s, so that's why I wear this 80s stuff. You see, Chucky's from the 80s. And how many licks does it take to get to the Tootsie Roll center of a Tootsie Pop? When you take the 1, a 2, a 3, and you put that on your finger, you get that sticky stuff on your finger. Oh yeah, that sticky stuff and how it's annoying, so annoying. That is the same thing that's happening to your hemoglobin, folks. It is very, very annoyed because it's got too much dang on sugar stuff, right? So that doesn't sound good. All right, so let's up the ante a little bit. This number goes anywhere between 4 and 30. Now it can go higher than 30 in some cases, and it can go lower than 4 in some cases. You never, I mean, it just depends on extreme cases. 4 and 30. Let me get a better pen because this one is blacking out. All right, change my color over here. 4 to 30. Ooh, much better. Ooh, 4 to 30. That's where it goes. But you're still like, well, what does that mean, Kelley? All right, what does that mean? Who knows what it means? Throw it in the chat. If you know what it means when your A1C gets to a 5.7, 5.7 through a 6.4. Who can tell me what that means, folks? When your A1C gets to a 5.7 to a 6.4, who knows what that means? What does it equal? When you go to the doc he pulls your blood and they check it out and they call you back and they're like, yo, your A1C's at a 5.7. What does it mean? We're gonna cover all of them, folks. We're gonna cover all the numbers. Yeah, what does it mean? Throw it in the chat. Yeah, throw it in the chat over here. Okay. Pre. Y'all, that's it. Pre. What pre what? Pre what? Pre what? Pre prom? I mean, what pre what? What pre what? Oh, diabetic. You are pre-diabetic. Okay, pre-diabetic. All right. So what does that mean though? People still don't understand what that means to be a pre-diabetic. All right, well, let's understand what it means to actually be a pre-diabetic, folks. Let's dive into it, shall we? Who knows let's play another little game. Who knows what it means? Who knows what the most important hormone is in your body? Can you tell me what the most important hormone is in the body? Any guesses? Throw them out there, folks. There's a lot of important hormones in the body, but throw them out there. Is it testosterone? Is it cortisol? Is it estrogen? Is it glucagon? Is it insulin? Is it ghrelin? Is it leptin? Like, which is the most important hormone in the body, folks? Cortisol, people say cortisol, insulin, thyroid, cortisol. All right, most important. What we got? Any guesses over here on the other side over here? Okay, insulin resistance. All right, insulin. Okay, insulin seems to be, folks. Insulin seems to be too much sugar. Insulin seems like the clear victor here. And you are right. It is insulin. Insulin, folks, is the most important hormone in the body. It's so important. Here's how important it is. I'm going to stand on this side. It's so important that, here's the thing. If you don't have it, I'm going to tell you a little secret. If you don't have it, you won't survive. Wow. That's how important insulin is. It's so important that if you're a type 1 diabetic, you have to manually inject insulin for the rest of your life. Why? It's because it's that important. And if you don't have it, you won't survive. No human being will. If a human being does not have insulin, they won't survive. They can survive without some of those other hormones. Those other hormones that people name, those are important hormones. I'm not saying that they're not important. But here's what I am saying. They're not the most important. You know what I'm saying? You can survive off of those without any of those. But insulin, you cannot survive without, right? So here's what prediabetes means, folks. Prediabetes means that you haven't become a diabetic yet. It just means you're in the pre-diabetic range. It just means the insulin, you're becoming resistant to the insulin. It just hasn't gotten bad yet. So I don't know about you folks, but if insulin is the most important hormone in the body, and this number is an indicator of how insulin resistant I am becoming. The higher the number is, the more insulin resistant I am becoming. Folks, I don't know about you, but that doesn't sound like a good thing. Most important hormone in the body that I'm becoming I'm becoming resistant to. I don't think that that's a good thing. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I don't think that's a good thing. Here we go. Let's up the ante. What happens when your A1C is a 6.5 or greater? Greater. We're talking 7s, 8s, 9s, 10s, 11s, 12s, 13s, 14s, 15s, 16s, 17s, 18s, 19s. What does that mean? Yeah, what's that mean? Mm. Okay, diabetes. Diabetes, somebody said insulin resistance. Okay, diabetes type 2, somebody says. What else? What else? What else? What else is it? Okay, type 2. Yup. All right. Appreciate the follow. Appreciate that follow. Okay. Any other guesses? High risk diabetes. Okay. It means you're right. Diabetes. Woo! Diabetes. All right. That's what it means. But like I said, I'm gonna tell you what this is first. And then the next step, step two, is I'm gonna tell you what you're gonna have to do to be able to bring this number back down. But here it is. Here's how diabetes works, folks. Insulin, if people are still like, man, I don't care about this number. Why should I care about this number, Kelly? My number's an 8, and my number's a 9, my number's a 13, but I'm gonna still eat whatever I want, Kelly. I don't care if my number's a 13. I'm gonna still eat whatever I want, whenever I want, however I want, for as long as I want. And I'm gonna watch Netflix for as long as I want too. And I ain't getting up off of the couch, Kelly. All right? That's what a lot of people will still say when their number is that high. But here's what that means when your number is high. It means that you're a diabetic. It means that you are insulin resistant. It means that you are resistant to the most important hormone in the body. What is that hormone responsible for? It's responsible for taking the energy from the food that you just ate and putting it into your cells. Putting it into your cells so that you have energy, so that you can move about. You see how I'm moving about, moving my hands? That's all due to insulin. You know what I'm saying? Because the energy from the food that I was able to get into my cells so that I can break things. You know what I'm saying? That's how important stuff is. So if I'm resistant to that, if the energy can't get into my cells, then that means that I'm gonna always be feeling tired. I'm gonna be feeling hungry. That means that I'm gonna always be having cravings because my body's craving energy. That's why you get cravings, because it's craving energy. That's why you get hungry, because it can't use the energy from the food that you just ate. Why? Because insulin is blocked. It's too much insulin. It's blocked. You're insulin resistant. So the cells are not listening to insulin anymore. So the energy can't get into the cells. So you stay hungry because the energy can't get into the cells. So you stay hungry. You stay tired. Okay? So the higher the number is, the more insulin resistant you are becoming, which means the higher the percentage of sugar, it's 5.7, like you said, 5.7, 6.4. That's how much sugar, basically, that's what this number means. How much sugar, what percent of sugar is basically sucking the life out of your hemoglobin? Because the hemoglobin is your life, right? So if you got too much sugar stuck to your life and it's choking it, basically, because that sugar is real nasty and it's choking it, what do you think that means for you? Here's what it means in simple terms. It means the higher the number is, it means the faster you're checking out of here. It means the higher the percentage of sugar that has now been stuck, or basically infected is a better word, has infected your life. This is why people pass away 20 years too soon. You ever wonder why people pass away 20 years too soon from complications of diabetes? Well, it's because hemoglobin A1C is that serious. And if you got too much high percentage of sugar stuck to it for many, 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 many years, you are literally choking the life out of yourself, literally. Like, I'm not being figurative. I'm literally saying that is what's happening. That is why my sister passed away at the age of 55 years old in her sleep from complications from diabetes. It's 2 years ago. It's 2 years ago. Complications from diabetes at the age of 55. When my sister was supposed to live until she's my nieces are like in their 20s. They need their mom. But now my big sister is gone. She's supposed to be, she would have been 57 this year. She's supposed to be 65, 75, 85 years old. Nice long life. Now she's gone. All due to complications of diabetes. So, folks, this is what it means to have a high A1C. Ideally, you want that number 4.9, 5.3. That's what you wanted ideally. Now, does it have to be perfectly right there? No, it don't have to be perfect right there, but ideally, that's what you wanted, 4.9 to 5.3, folks. And then next, we're going to talk about how to get it there. We're going to talk about how to get it to this ideal range. That's part one. But that's part two. That's part two of the whole thing. How to fix this thing, how to bring it down. But I wanted to make sure that it was clear that you had a clear understanding of what it means to have a high hemoglobin A1C. Then now you got to ask yourself, should I continue to stay on the couch and eat ho-ho Twinkies and ding dongs while watching Netflix? Should I continue to do that? Or should I get up and live for something? Right? Should I get up and live for something? Or should I continue to, I'm going to continue to sit back and let this thing slowly take me up out of here? And what did you just do at that point? What did you just do at that point? I told you my sister had kids. They're in their 20s. Now, who's got to pay the price? Who's got to pay the price for the thing that we avoided, which was doing the work? So if this is making sense to y'all folks, put a health yes in the chat. Put a health yes in the chat if this is making sense to you. Or if here's the thing. I'm gonna make it as simple as possible. The higher the number is, the faster you're digging a grave with your teeth. That's it. That's the easiest way I can say it. The higher the number is, the faster you're digging a grave with your teeth. And that just sums the whole thing up right there. We can take down these whole numbers, erase everything, and I can just put up there the higher the number is, the faster you're digging a grave with your teeth. And that will sum up what diabetes is. Type 2 diabetes in particular. Lifestyle medicine. Right? Because we avoided doing what was necessary. And we're going to talk about what's necessary right now, folks. But any questions? Any questions? Is there any questions? Put a health yes in the chat. If you and I are going to take this number seriously, or if you are still going to take it for granted and avoid doing what you got to do. Because avoidance isn't the answer. I'm going to just keep it honest with you. Avoidance is not the answer. Yeah. Health, yes. Got a lot of yeses in the chat. Thank you. Thank you. How long was my sister diabetic? For about at least 20 years. At least 20 years. I just found out I'm pre-diabetic range. Yeah, if you're in the pre-diabetic range, that means that you're already sick. It means that you're already sick. It's just that it ain't gotten bad yet. That's all that it means, folks. It just means that your body is already saying, what the heck's going on? But it just hadn't gotten bad enough yet. Health, yeah. Yes. Nobody ever explained this. Yes. Yeah. Nobody ever explained this to me this way. Why did they never do that, Elizabeth? Come on now. This is common information. This should be like, yo, as soon as you get diagnosed, you'd be like, yo, this is it. You know what, Elizabeth, that's a good point. That is why I want everybody to go take the quiz. To take the quiz. If you want, if take the 2-minute quiz, click the link in my bio and take this 2-minute quiz. What is this 2-minute quiz going to tell you to do? Oh, it's going to tell you your diabetes management style, folks. What is your diabetes management style? Let me show you. Click right up here. and then click on my picture again. And it's linked in my bio right here. Man, take the quiz. I know on the other networks, it's other ones, it's in my bio as well, right? But it says right there, that link's in my bio. We're going to come back to the questions. Here it is right here. Look, I'm pointing you in the right direction. What am I pointing you to? Take the quiz. That's the very first thing you do. Take the quiz, understand and learn your diabetes management style. Folks, this link in my bio is like Disney World for diabetic. See that? This link in my bio, folks, is like Disney World for diabetic. What does that mean? The quiz, the master class, which we're going to talk about right now, how to fix this thing. That's the master class. That's what the master class is all about. How to bring that number back down naturally. And then the 14-day blood sugar reset challenge right here. Here's the challenge. 14 days. This is for my people who are seriously ready for serious change. For my people who are ready to seriously take into action, hang out with me for 2 weeks. Hang out with me for 2 weeks. That's why it's called diabetic meds aren't the only answer. Try 14 days with your boy, right? Try it. And guess what's going to happen? Just like Kim just said earlier, as soon as we turned the live on, she came on and said her blood sugar, she hung out with me for 2 weeks. Today is day 14. And it went from a 282 fasting, and now today, the last day of the challenge, she's on 102. Woo, tomorrow when we wake up, woo, under 100. Under 100. Do you know what it means to be under 100? That means that is a normal range. Anything under the 100 is the normal range. She's right there at a 102 on day 14. Come on, tomorrow. She hung out with me from the 14-day blood sugar reset challenge. Yeah. Real life, real people, folks. So that's what you can expect. So that, folks, those are the things. You can go take the quiz. You can go register for this masterclass, which we're getting ready to talk about right now. And then for my action takers, for my people who are like, yo, bro, I'm not playing around anymore. I understand. Let's take action. That is who the 14-day blood sugar reset challenge is about. It's for real people who want real results. That's it. That's it. All right, let's get to these questions. What we got for these questions, folks? Yeah, Kim. Yeah. Shout out to Kim. She joined the 14-day blood sugar reset challenge. Thank you for explaining so clearly. Thank you, Juju. Let's see. Questions. Do you have any classes for type 1 diabetes? Unfortunately, type 1 diabetes is not my specialty. I can tell you some stuff about type 1 diabetes, but I can't dive deep into it like, you know what I mean, like type 2 diabetes. That's what I specialize in. But there's a lot of people on here. All you got to do is type in type 1 in TikTok here. I mean, it's a lot of people talking about type 1 diabetes. You know what I mean? But here's the thing. The type 1 diabetic, here's the thing. The difference between type 1 and type 2 is this. How you got it. High blood sugar you still got high blood sugar. Both on high, that's the result, high blood sugar. But the difference is how you got high blood sugar. One was from an autoimmune condition, and the other one was from lifestyle choices, which we're going to talk about right now. Right now. But let's get back to these questions. We're going to talk about how to fix this thing. So hang tight with me, folks. 102, yeah, wow. Anyone with pre-diabetes or diabetes, ask your doctor if you're able to get a Libre Plus. Yeah, CGMs are great, man. Those will change your life. They really will. I'm in tech savvy. I'm not, hold up. You say, I'm not tech savvy on TikTok. How do I find the link and I want meds? Okay, how do you find the link? Here we go, folks. Here's the link. And then we're getting back to the question. We're going to get back to these boards. So click right up here. Click on here and then click on my picture again. And then when you click on my picture again, make sure you click on my picture again though. You're going to come right here. This is for my folks on TikTok. Right here. Now you click that link and then there's all the stuff right there. There's the quiz, the masterclass, the challenge, everything, right? There's a challenge, all of that stuff. Everything on there is free. The quiz is free. The masterclass is free. Only thing I got to charge you for is the challenge. Because why I got to charge you for the challenge is because real people getting real results, right? Real people getting real results on the challenge. But the quiz is free. The masterclass is free. Everything else is free, right? Like I said, the only thing, everything else the PDF is free. I mean, it's a book a call. You can book a call. That's free. Everything's free. The only thing that I'm charging for is gotta charge you for is the 14 days because it's serious people getting real results. And I want you to take it seriously. If I give it to you for free, you ain't gonna take it seriously. You're gonna take it seriously. And then you're gonna be on the live and people are gonna be like, how was Kelly's challenge? You're gonna be like, Kelly's challenge sucked. Instead of saying like what Kim said. You see what Kim said? Kim's like, yeah, she's on day 14 and she's got the results. You want to know why? It's because she invested in herself. If you invest in yourself, you're gonna put in the work. But if I give it to you, if I hand it to you, you're gonna be like, I ain't doing this. It's hard. It's a challenge for a reason. It's called a challenge for a reason, folks. When does the 14-day reset start? It starts whenever you finish going grocery shopping. Whenever you go grocery shopping, that is when it starts. It's a self-paced challenge. It's 2 weeks. 2 weeks. I'm gonna be there every step of the way with you, but it's 2 weeks. It's self-paced. So whenever you go to the store, whenever you go to the store, that's when you get it. That's when it starts. Whenever you finish shopping, folks. And if you want to join the challenge, there's a live discount code of SAVE20. Use the live discount code, folks. SAVE20. SAVE20. Put this on the board up here. SAVE20. That's the live discount code, folks. Everything is free. The only thing I'm charging for is the challenge. It's $99 for the challenge. But if you use the live discount code, this is the discount code when I'm live, you will knock $20 off the price. And it'll come down to $79. So $79 to join the 14-day blood sugar reset challenge. That's it. $79 is the difference. And you doing the work. It's not just a $79 investment, but it's then you doing the work for 2 weeks, and then you'll get the same kind of results as Kim got, as Kim is getting. She's on day 14. Why? It's because it's a blueprint. It's a blueprint. All you got to do is the work. That's it. I've already laid it out there for you. I've already took the guesswork out. You just got to go do the work, which most people are not going to do. So that's what we're going to talk about right now, the work. Most people will say, Kelly, I ain't doing no work, bro. No. Even if I just explain the whole thing to you and what it means to be a diabetic, most people are still going to be like, Kelly, I'm going to avoid the work as much as I possibly can. But your mind is going to try to keep you safe. Your mind is keeping you safe. Right? Because you're not going to, it says you're not going to face that. That's what your mind is saying. I'm keeping you safe. Don't face that, bro. No. Don't do that. Because if you don't face it, you can't fail at it. If you don't face it, you can't fail it. You can't fail at it, right? If I don't face what I got to do, that means that I didn't fail because I didn't face it, right? It's the human psychology that people try to play. Like, come on, bro. What do you know about Manjaro? Here's what I know about Manjaro. That is life. It should be lifestyle first, medication second. That's what we're going to talk about. Lifestyle medicine. That's what I know about Manjaro. I'm ready. Let's go. Where do I start? You can start by clicking the link in my bio. Click the link in my bio and start taking that quiz. I'm on Ozempic. Okay, you're on Ozempic. Is type 1 or type 2 diabetes? This for type 1 or type 2? I talk more about type 2 diabetes, sorry. I talk about type 2 diabetes, what it's about. But here's the thing. It's also about becoming more insulin sensitive. So if you're a type 1 diabetic, it's all about lifestyle medicine. It doesn't matter if you're a type 1 diabetic or type 2 diabetic, you got osteoarthritis, you got IBS, you got whatever condition, you got PCOS, you got whatever condition that it is, you got gestational diabetes, whatever condition that it is. These are the pillars of health, folks. This right here these are the pillars of health. How do you get rid of diabetes? How do you bring back father time? Here's how you do it. You got to maintain your pace. Now, I'm not going to break down. We're not going to spend a whole lot of time on there like we could, like I do in the masterclass. That's what the masterclass is all about. Click the link in my bio and register for that masterclass. I'm gonna break down this whole formula, this lifestyle medicine formula. Let me get some water. I'm gonna break down the whole lifestyle medicine formula. But the very first thing that you got to do, this is the best form of healing, folks. It is, but it's the most often neglected form of healing. It's the best form of healing, but the most often neglected form of healing. And what is it called? It's called lifestyle medicine, right? This is the one where you like, yo, Kelley, like work. I ain't trying to do the work. But here's it all. Here's the thing. The greatest failure of all is not trying. And here's what you're gonna have to do. This is the new meds, folks. If you ever had plans on getting rid of type 2 diabetes, you're gonna have to prescribe yourself these meds. I can't prescribe you these meds. The doctor can't prescribe you these meds. You know, the only person that can prescribe you these meds is you. Is you. Right? Susie, there's a lot of free stuff. This is all free information. This is called community service information. This right here, what I'm giving you, this is community service information. The link in my bio, taking the quiz, the master class, that's all community service. All you got to do is pay. The only thing you got to pay is attention. That's all you got to pay is attention. Just it. So you got to pay. The reason I got to charge you for the challenge is because it's a challenge. And if you can't invest $79 in yourself, then in your health, if you say that that's what you want, that's why I got to charge you for it. Because when it gets hard, you're gonna stop. You're gonna stop when it's time to do this right here. Here's what it's time to do. Have a peaceful mind. The only way, folks, that you ever gonna get rid of diabetes is to maintain your pace. The P stands for peaceful mind. Peaceful mind. Peaceful mind. All right. What the hell does it mean to have a peaceful mind? Well, it means exactly that. If you do not have a peaceful mind, the first part of this formula, guess what's gonna happen? Your diabetes, woo, it ain't gonna get better. It ain't gonna get better at all. Because here's why. Stress is the great equalizer. Cortisol is the great equalizer. I said there's a lot of important hormones in the body. Didn't I? Remember I said that? But the most important hormone is this. Here's the most important hormone. Insulin, but cortisol, ooh, it has is a great contributor. Because it thinks that your body's in fight or flight. Like it's time to fight. It's time to have a fight. This is what cortisol says. It's time to have a fight. So adrenaline kick in. Adrenaline kick in, cortisol kick in, and as a result of adrenaline and cortisol kicking in because you're getting ready to get into a fight or you're about to step on a snake. I grew up in Florida and there's a lot of rattlesnakes. I mean, there's a big old rattlesnakes in Florida. Like you pick up a rattlesnake, like my neighbor back in the day, he took out a rattlesnake, cut off his head, and he had the thing, and he was like 6'4", and he was holding the snake like this, like, and you can see the snake all the way to the bottom, like that's a big rattlesnake. You know what I'm saying? A big one. So you're going to get real stressed out or something like that. And he's going to tell you to fight. And your body's going to release adrenaline. It's going to release cortisol. It's going to release stored blood sugar. Stored blood sugar gets released from your liver. And as a result, boom. Now your blood sugar's high. But here's the thing. It's supposed to go back down because it's high so you can fight. But it's supposed to give you energy to fight. But it's supposed to go back down. But what happens when you're chronically stressed is it doesn't go back down. And it thinks that you're getting ready to step on a snake all day. Like, I'm going to step on a snake all day. You're just, a snake's right there. Oh my God. You're stressed all day. A snake. You know what I'm saying? That's how it feels all day. And as a result, your blood sugar is constantly high. And as a result, As a response to that, your insulin is constantly high. Because where blood sugar goes, man, insulin follows. Where blood sugar goes, insulin follows. And wherever blood sugar, and then your blood sugar starts to drop, guess what? Insulin follows. So wherever blood sugar goes, insulin follows. That's a good thing. Wherever blood sugar goes, insulin follows. Write that one down. Let's create that one. Peaceful mind. So very folks, who's getting on your nerves? It's very, very important for you to get a hold of your stress. Who's getting on your nerves? Is your mother-in-law getting on your nerves? Is your pops getting on your nerves? Is your spouse getting on your nerves? Your kids getting on your nerves? Your boss getting on your nerves? The traffic getting on your nerves? The weather, is that getting on your nerves? What's getting on your nerves, folks? Until you figure out what's getting on your nerves, until you figure out how to manage it better, how to stop it, it's going to persist. Your blood sugar, it ain't gonna go down. So this is the natural medication. This is the work that we're gonna have to do. What's the work? The three M's. Meditation. This is what I recommend. What do you recommend, Kelley? The 3 M's. Meditation, mindfulness, meet with your therapist. Those are the 3 M's. Meditation, mindfulness, meet with your therapist, right? We're going to get back to the question. Don't worry, folks. We're going to get back to the questions. But that's the 3 M's. Things that you got, so you got to dial in the stress. The A stands for active body. All of this stuff, folks, is the stuff that people have been avoiding. They've been avoiding doing the work. Active body. 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week of moderate intensive movement. 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week of moderate intensive movement. You're like, well, what the hell what is moderate intensive movement? It means you get out there. If you're on a treadmill, if you're on the walk, it means that you can talk, but you can't sing. It means you can talk, but you can't sing. So that's what it means. That's what it means to be moderately intensive movement. You get a little bit better. You get a little burning. You get a little out of breath. You get a little bit of sweating going on. That is what it means. That is moderate intensive movement. But if you can't do moderate intensive movement, build yourself up to that. And so you're just not going to, most people are not going to just jump right out of the box and just be moderate intensive movement. So here's the thing. Just get out there and move. Move your body. It could be out there, just be active. Get out there and play with your kids. That's why it's called an active body. Ooh, I didn't say become a world-class athlete, did I? I said active body. 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week, moderate intensive movement. You do that 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week, that means you get weekends off. Think of it like this. Here's why they want you to move your body. Here's why we recommend moving your body as much as possible. The reason you want to move your body as much as possible, especially if you're suffering from insulin resistance, here's what you need to do. Move your body. Because muscles are hungry. They're real hungry. What are they hungry for? Oh, muscles are hungry for the same stuff that you have too much of. That's what muscles are hungry for, folks. You're like, well, what are muscles hungry for, Kelley? You say they're hungry. Muscles are hungry for the same stuff that you have too much of. Blood sugar. That's what it's hungry for. It'll gobble it up. It'll gobble it up so much. They're so hungry that when you move your body, from the food that you just ate, from the meal that you just ate, it will immediately be uptaken into your muscles by your blood sugar. I mean, your blood sugar will be uptaken by the muscles immediately when you start moving your body. Because like I said before, you need energy to move. So insulin and then blood sugar, that's all. I tell you, y'all, folks don't understand how important this insulin and blood sugar stuff really is. Move your body, you'll start to see that number start to go down. Because at this point, you don't even have to use insulin at this point if you're moving your body, because muscles are that hungry. Wow, you can bypass insulin. And as a result, you do this more and more and more often. You become more and 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 more insulin sensitive, folks. This is what it means to be sensitive to insulin. All right. This is the work, folks, this is the work that people are going to avoid. But I don't care how much you avoid it. Avoidance isn't protection, it's surrender. That's what avoidance is. It's surrender. It means you surrender to diabetes because you avoided doing the work that you gotta do. So if this is making sense to y'all folks, part part C of the chat of the formula. Part C, the C stands for, and this one, folks, woo! This one, we're gonna spend a lot of time on this. People with a lot of time on this. Clean eating. Clean eating. Ooh, what the hell's clean eating? Well, only the most controversial topic that there is, clean eating. Only the most controversial topic that there is. Other than politics and religion, eating. Eating is so highly debated that it's not even funny. I didn't really understand this until I became a nutritionist. When I became a nutritionist, then I understood, like, dang, is it really that serious about what people eat? Yeah, it really is, because it's so personal to people. It's because it's what you grew up eating. You ain't telling me what I ain't gonna eat. You ain't telling me this is personal. Playing with talking about what I'm eating. So let's just keep it simple then. We're gonna talk a whole about, well, so I'm gonna fly through this one, but it's eat whole unprocessed foods as much as you possibly can. Whole unprocessed foods as much as you possibly can. Real whole unprocessed food, something that came from a bush, something that came from a branch, something that once was grown out of the ground, something that once had dirt on it. These are clean. This is clean eating. What are we talking about? What? So be more specific, Kelly. Fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, grains, beans, leaner cuts of protein, right? Leaner protein sources like chicken and turkey and eggs and fish and what else? Tofu and tempeh for my plant-based folks. Now, the stuff that I'm not talking about is this. The stuff that I'm not talking about is clean eating is this. That is the crap, as I call it. Calorie rich and processed foods. That's not clean eating, but that's what we eat in America, especially in America. It's sad. The standard American diet is sad. What we eat most of the time, and we eat a whole lot of crap. That's what we eat in America. A whole lot of crap. 70% of the time, that's what we eat. So, like I said, folks, I'm gonna fly through this one, clean eating, because we're gonna spend the whole next hour. I promise you. I'm gonna answer your questions, but the whole next hour, we're talking about. I'm gonna answer all your eating questions. I promise you. So don't go anywhere. But if you gotta go somewhere, come right back because we're gonna be here for a while. Effective. Effective what? What do you think is effective what, folks? Effective what? We're gonna talk about eating clean eating, folks. We're gonna find out. There's a different. I'm telling you, people will bite your head off about clean eating. People will bite your head off. Effective what, folks? What do we think it is? The last part of the formula. What we think it is. So somebody said it. Somebody said it. Let me see. All right. Let me see. Effective what? Yeah, sleep. The last part of the formula. Folks, not only is it one of the most important ones, the most important one, you can say. You could say it's the most, it's arguably the most important one, sleep. Why? Why is sleep so important? 6 to 9 hours of effective sleep. Why is that so important? Well, it's so important is because that is how your body re-kickstarts itself. It re-kickstarts itself whenever the sleep. All the stuff like all your other organs and all that stuff, it's your body, it's recouping and all that stuff. But sleep is when the most action in your brain is the one that benefits the most when you sleep. Why? It's because you can reboot yourself. That's why you can wake up the next morning and your mind is fresh again. You're ready for the day. So overnight when you sleep, the thing that is affected the most is your brain. Your brain loves sleep, loves it. If you don't get effective sleep, that's a stressor. That's going to cause your body to cause a domino effect because your body can't restart itself. Your body can't reboot itself. Your body can't say, "I can't get rid of all the toxins that were doing the normal processes." Like my hormones were interrupted, like the natural hormones that are supposed to happen when I'm sleeping. I talked about all those hormones, right? Hormones are nothing but messengers. They're just messengers. Just like the mailman is just running. When the hormones, it's just like the mailman is running all day. When it comes to hormones, the mailman's running all day, but he runs at different times of the day. He's running all day and he's delivering different packages at certain time of the day. Certain time of the day, like you be like, yo, here's the thing. Let's just say it's the morning time. And you're like, hey, mailman, can you deliver me some melatonin right now? It's the middle of the day. You be like, mailman, can you deliver me some melatonin? And the mailman's gonna look at you like, be like, nah, it's not time to deliver melatonin right now. It's not time. It's time to give you some cortisol. Your cortisol should have maxed out earlier when you woke up. It's cortisol time now. It's not melatonin. You know what I mean? So that it's all day. So when you mess up your sleep, those messengers, they get thrown off. It's like the mailman's like, where should I go? Like, dude, the mail people are running to each other. Like the mailman's like, you just look out there and it's a whole big old crash of mail trucks out there. You're like, yo, the mail guys, what are y'all doing? Like, the mail must go through though. It must be delivered. Effective sleep. If you do not get effective sleep, your mailman is going to be like, there's going to be so many crashes of your mailman, it's not even going to be funny. Can you drink alcohol? Absolutely. You can drink alcohol. You can. If you got diabetes, you shouldn't. Okay. But at the end, you should not. You should be the furthest thing from your mind if you're suffering from insulin resistance. Alcohol, right? Especially when you sleep. Well, that's a good one. Thank you for asking that. Sleeping. People think that whenever I drink a glass of wine, I drink a glass of wine before bed and it relaxes me, Kelly, and I get a good night of sleep. Well, you think that you got a good night of sleep, but your body is just, here's what your body is saying. This is why you wake up feeling like straight up crap. It's what your body is saying, and especially the older that you get. Your body is like, what the hell? Why did you give me that toxin right? Why did you give me that toxin right before bed? During my sleep time when I'm supposed to be recuperating. So now you wake up and you feel like crap. The reason you feel like crap is because those hormones, those mailman, whole bunch of collisions on the freaking mailman, just like people can't even get their mail, and there's a whole traffic jam trying to leave out of the post office. Like all the mail trucks are at the post office and they can't get out. They're just stuck. That's what happens when you have terrible sleep, folks. That is a stressor, and as a result, you don't get effective sleep. Here's what's going to happen. Whoa, let's find out why people do. Here's how they can cancel each other out. They can cancel each other out just like this. Watch. I'm gonna show you how they cancel each other out. Check this out. Y'all ready? Here's how they cancel each other out. If you do not get enough effective sleep, that is in turn going to be a stressor. Lack of sleep is a stressor. You're going to be more insulin resistant the very next day, and you're going to go raid the fridge the very next day. So here's what's going to happen. Here's what happens. That is a stressor. So remember what I said earlier, the pathway I told you about what happens when you're stressed. Remember the rattlesnake, right? You're about to step on a rattlesnake. Feels like you're about to step on a rattlesnake. So effective sleep will then trigger you to not have a peaceful mind. And as a result, if you don't have a peaceful mind, now you got more adrenaline, now you got more cortisol, now you got more stored blood sugars being released. When stored blood sugar is released, what else is released? When insulin high, remember what I said earlier? Where blood sugar goes, what follows? Where blood sugar goes, insulin follows. And as a result, you become more and more insulin resistant, all because you didn't get any effective sleep. But you were working out like a champ. You got yourself a trainer, got yourself a nutritionist, clean eating, got yourself all of that stuff. But at the end of the day, you're sleeping like trash. You haven't slept well your entire life, or at least not in the last 10 years anyway, since the diagnosis. And as a result, you haven't had any peace in your mind. And as a result, you just caused a whole domino effect, and you feel like you're stepping on a rattlesnake all day long. Folks, this is the work you're going to have to do. This is it. If you ever had plans of getting rid of diabetes, if you ever say, listen, I want to get off my meds, if that thought ever came into your mind, the only way that you're going to accomplish that goal is by doing this work right here. And this is the work that most people are going to avoid. They're going to avoid it until so much. They're going to avoid it. Here's when they're going to avoid it. And here's when they'll stop avoiding it. They'll stop avoiding it when the pain gets too great. When the pain gets too great, you be like, all right, I've been forced to do this. Like a lot of people tell me, like a lot of people I talk to diabetics every day, literally every day. And and especially when I go to the VA. When I go to the VA, I used to be in the Navy. When I go to the VA and I sit down and I talk to some more veterans and they have their leg gone, and you think that the leg is gone from the war. It's not actually from the war. You want to know what their leg is gone from? The amputation? It's called avoidance. They avoided what they had to do, and at the end of the day, they paid the ultimate price. They paid the price, the cost of their leg. That's the cost that they paid for avoidance, for being neglect. They decided to neglect that, and as a result, I'm at the VA, and you think that the people are losing their legs in amputation from the war. Like war, like people, like it's a war. People like explosions and all types of stuff. But here's the thing. You talk to the people at the VA, it ain't from the war. It is from a war, though, from a war of their blood sugar and their insulin. Insulin and blood sugar are at war with the rest of the body. And as a result, the consequences, one of the casualties was your foot, your toe. Your vision was one of the casualties of this war. You ever seen the casualties of war? That's one of the casualties. Your vision, all of that stuff. And this is all folks, because we want to avoid doing the work. What is the cost of avoidance? You just think about what the cost of avoidance is. Like I told you before, avoidance isn't protection. It's surrender. So if this is making sense to y'all, folks, put a health yes in the chat. Put a health yes. Let me bring my camera up a little bit higher, it's a little bit lower. Put a health yes in the chat, folks, if this is making sense to y'all. This is making sense to y'all. Put a health yes in the chat. If you're now to say, you know what, Kelley? I gotten to the point where I ain't avoiding it anymore. I'm gonna clean up the neglect. I've been neglecting to do this for a long time, Kelley. And the pain, before the pain, here's the thing. 2 times when people change. Pain and the fear of future pain. That's it. If it's not any of those two, nobody's doing this. No, you can't fool me because listen, I went through this myself. I told you my transformation. I showed you my transformation. I went through this myself. Look at what avoidance looks like, folks. Here's what avoidance looks like. Here's what avoidance looks like. That's what avoidance looks like. That's what it looks like. That's what surrender looks like. That's what this looks like. Avoidance. Over here as well. Look, that's avoidance, folks. Avoidance. That's what it looks like. Look at that. Last one. The one on the right, when I was teaching the class. I've been teaching for 20 years, folks. Teaching is not new to me. It's not new to me, folks. This is what I do. What I've been doing my whole last 20 years, teaching people. So my style is a little bit different than most people. You know what I mean? Some people love my style. Some people hate my style. Like, Kelley, we don't like your style, bro. But that's cool. I'm not for everybody. But here's what I can tell you. It's not about the style, my style, whose person's style, whatever, their style, my style, their style. Your style is different than whatever. What matters is you doing the work. That's what matters. Now, folks, let's get to these questions. If you want to know more about this, click the link in my bio. I'm going to show you where that is. Click the link in my bio, and then we're going to get to your questions right now. It's Q&A time, folks. I love the Q&A sessions. So get your questions ready. We're going to go Q&A. All right, but here we go right here. Click this right here. Click on my picture again. Man, do me a favor. Bebop that screen, folks. Bebop that screen. Share this live out with anybody you know that is struggling. Keep on sharing it. Right here. Here it is. So click right here. Click on my picture again. I'm going to show you how to get to the masterclass. Register for it. Register for the quiz right here. Right there. There it is. Register for the masterclass. Register for the masterclass. And then the masterclass hours right here. There it is. The masterclass. Register for it right there, folks. That's where you register. Click register there, right there. In this masterclass, what you're going to do, you're going to learn tactics in each of these areas. Peaceful mind, I'm going to teach you more. I'm going to teach you the hardcore tactics in peaceful mind. Active body, I'm going to teach you some tactics in how to be active. I'm going to teach you some tactics in clean eating. And I'm going to teach you some tactics in effective sleep. It's a free masterclass, folks. All you got to pay is attention. You pay attention. That's it. That's all you got to pay with. Pay attention. And then finally, folks, look at this. Check this out. Check this out. The 14-day blood sugar reset challenge right here. There it is right there. I'm going to show you over here the 14-day blood sugar reset challenge. This is for my action takers. This is for the people that says, the heck with avoidance, bro. No more avoidance, man. No more avoidance. This is why I created the 14-day blood sugar reset challenge. What is it all about? It's about 14 days. It's about 42 meals, all designed by me. It is a blueprint that if you follow it, just like everybody else, people who've come on, I'm not making this up, folks. These are people who are coming on and sharing their testimonials. Kim today, 282, started off as today, the last day of the challenge. She started off at a 282. Today, the last day of the challenge, she's at a 102. Woo, tomorrow, we're going to wake up tomorrow, at a 102. Under 100, sorry. And that, you know what it means when you're under 100? That means that you're out. That means that you're out of the pre-diabetic range. 14 days? Come on now. That's what it's all about. Medication. Here's the thing. Lifestyle first, medication second. If you cannot fix it with the lifestyle first, then we can talk about the medication. I think medication is very, very, very important if you need it. I think it's very, very important if you need it. But most people don't need it. All most people need to do is stop avoiding the work. That's it. That's all they need to do. And their troubles will go away. But that comfort zone is something else, though. The comfort zone, you know what I'm talking about. The comfort zone is like, I can sit in my comfort zone, man. But here's the thing, the more you sit in your comfort zone, the more what you want is getting away from you. So everything that you want and don't have is outside of your comfort zone. That's where it is. Everything that you want, literally, everything that you want, you say that you want to get off the meds, you say you want to get your life back. That's what you said that you wanted, right? I what you said. I didn't say that. You said that. But everything that you want and don't have is literally outside of your comfort zone. So what does that mean, Kelly? You like, what does that mean, Kelly? That means if you want that, that means you're gonna have to put in the work. That means you're gonna have to get outside of your comfort zone, doing the work. It ain't no comfort in work. It ain't no comfort in that at all. That's why most people ain't gonna do it. They don't want to get outside their comfort zone. Man, you rather let your hemoglobin A1C and the life just get sucked out of your body. Literally, what the sugar is doing is sucking the life, the years out of your body. That's what you would rather do than to avoid it. Come on now. No, man. Don't go out like that. Don't do that, bro. Like, don't do that to your kids. Don't do that. Don't do that, bro. For real. If you're at that point where you're like, listen, that's great, Kelly. I like the quiz, the master class, but you like, Kelly, I'm one of them people that's ready. I'm one of them people that's like, yo, bro, let's do it. I'm ready. Not now, but right now. Join the 14-day blood sugar reset challenge. These are for people who want serious results. They've got serious intentions of doing the work, of getting what they said that they wanted. And then people, they going for it. That's what Kim was earlier when she gave her testimony, from a 282 to a 102, and she's on day 14. Or Sean, who he was on day 12. I haven't talked to him. He hadn't come on, but he started off at a 400, and on day 12 he was at a 150. Come on, man. Day 12, he still had 3 days to go on the challenge. That's what we're doing, folks. If you want to join the 14-day blood sugar reset challenge, it's $99 to join the challenge. But if you use the live discount code, save 20, save 20, $79. You're in the 14-day blood sugar reset challenge. Do you have to accept the challenge? You don't have to accept the challenge. You can tell me, Kelly, take your challenge and kick rocks, and you're the ultimate salesman and all blah, 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 right? It's like, whatever. You can tell me that. But you can tell me all that stuff, but at the end of the day, it doesn't change from the work that you got to do. Because if I give you the challenge for free, when people are getting real results, and you find out that there's work you got to do, you're gonna be like, no, Kelly. Like I looked at the work that I had to do for 2 weeks, and I was like, that is too much outside of my comfort zone, Kelly. No, buddy. But that's just telling me that you ain't serious. There, you just like, yo, I don't want to do the work. I was just playing, and that's gonna as a result, we're gonna look back most likely we'll look back 5 years later and find out like, hey man, what's happened? What's happened in the last 5 years, or what's changed? And I'm gonna tell you, the only thing that's gonna change in the last 5 years when we look ahead, the probability is this. Here's the probability. The only thing that's gonna change is your prescription. That's the only thing that's gonna change in 5 years. The probability is, if you don't do the work, the probability in 5 years is the only thing that will change is your prescription. I guarantee you that. Now let's get back to these questions, folks. Any questions? Any questions, folks? Let's see. What we doing? We're getting out. We doing the work. That's what it's Q&A time right now, folks. It's Q&A time right now. Let's get to it. Everyone, good morning. What's up, Miss Prissy? Wow, that's me. All right, there we go. Q&A time, folks. Let me move it back. Who said they're gonna do the work? Y'all said they're gonna do the work. A lot of people say they're gonna do the work. My man Al is doing the work. Shout out to Al for doing the work. Al said his blood sugar now at 124. I don't know where did it start, Al. He didn't tell us where it started, but right now it's at a 124. I'm trying. It's hard. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard. It's hard. But if it's hard, you got to do it hard, though. If it's hard, you got to do it hard. So what if it's hard? What did you say that you wanted? What did you say that you wanted? If that's what you say that you wanted, here's the thing. Okay, you say that it's hard. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. You say that it's hard. I want you to do this. If it's getting too hard for you, if you're like, Kelley, the work is hard, bro. Like just thinking about doing the work is hard. Okay, do this. Do this. Go in. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to go into the mirror. And there's a couple of things I want you to do. I wrote it down. Yeah, the mirror effect. There it is. The mirror effect. Awareness. Going into the mirror. I want you to go into the mirror. And I want you to just do a Superman pose. Just take off all your clothes and you're going to do a Superman pose in the mirror and just look at yourself in the mirror and just stare at yourself for like a minute. Just literally. And the Superman pose, literally, this is a real thing. It's human psychology, folks. I'm not making this up. And do this Superman pose with no clothes on and look in the mirror and look at your what do you call it? Inequities? And just ask yourself, what are 5 good reasons why I deserve better health? You looking in the mirror. You looking in the mirror. You naked. It's just you in the mirror, and you looking at yourself, and you ask yourself this question right here. This is what you say. What are 5 good reasons as to why I deserve better health? And you looking at yourself in the mirror, no clothes on. What are 5 good reasons I deserve better health? And then whatever those reasons are the reasons you put on that board. And when you say, oh, it's hard, it's tired, I'm not motivated, go back to those reasons. Go back to them, because that's what you said that you wanted. The habits that you did before has led you to your current health situation. You know what I'm saying? You try that and just keep on looking at it. I'm not taking 4 shots a day. I'm taking 4 shots a day. Okay, sunshine. How you feel about it? You cool with that? I sound like you like, I'm celebrating that. I don't know. You taking, or is that frustration or is that celebration? I don't know. You got to be a little bit more specific. I have a question. I got answers. Hopefully. I'm night shift right now. Since my schedule is basically flipped, what must I do to have control? If you work in the night shift, here's the thing. You work in the night shift, you got to be super, super diligent about your time. You got to be so diligent about your time that like, yo, you got to have a set schedule and you don't alter that for anything. Unless it's like something like an emergency, something with your kids or whatever. Like, your sleep schedule is though. You should prioritize that the most. Your sleep should be so prioritized, man. Because like I said, it's when your body reboots itself. But if you work in the night shift, that means that you're going against nature. And if you're going against nature, man, that's not good. So be so diligent about your time. Write down the sleep schedule and stick to that every day. And when somebody says, yo, hey, they calling you, hey, can we do this? Can you do that? Can you do this? Instead of saying no, say this. Say, not right now, but if that changes, I'll call you. I'll call you. You only have to say that to them one time. Like one day they hit you up, they call you, right? And you're sleeping, you're like, no. And you're like, hey, we want you to do this. To be like, say this to them one time. Not right now, but if that changes, I'll call you. So if they call you again and say that same noise, didn't I say if that changes, I'll call you? Didn't I say that? That's when you can start to, get a little bit stern with them. Didn't I say that if that changes, I'll call you? Why are you calling me again? And that's how you shut that whole conversation down, because you're like, oh, I'm getting my sleep. Thoughts on juicing for sugar spikes? Yes, juicing is, we're going to talk about clean eating right now. But juicing is, you can juice vegetables. Yes, juice your vegetables. Juice vegetables, great. Juice them. Get all the vitamins and minerals and all that stuff in the vegetables. Juice them. But when it comes to fruit, no. We're not juicing fruit, though. We're not juicing that. The reason we're not juicing fruit is because you just removed all of the fiber and all you left was the sugar. And all sugar is sugar. It doesn't matter if it's natural sugar or table sugar. Your blood sugar doesn't know the difference between natural sugar and table sugar, especially when you remove the fiber when you juice it. So as a result, your blood sugar is still gonna go sky high. Sky high. I'm ready. All right, sunshine. Gotcha. I have type 2 DKA. Oh, yeah. And gastroparesis and Graves and HPB and high blood sugar and cholesterol and anemia. Whoa. Queen Tanya. All I can say is that the time to act is not now, but right now. When you're telling me all of that, the time for you can't even dip your toe in. Some people are just like, yo, it depends on their level of pain. It depends on their level of pain or how much change they'll want to do. They'll do into this right here. How much they'll invest in this is into this formula right here, the lifestyle medicine formula, PACE. How much they'll invest into this formula is based on their level of pain. That's how much they'll invest. If their pain is great, they'll invest a whole lot into this formula. But if their pain is not that much, they're not really going to invest in that much. That's what you're going to have to do. What's your number? What's your level? What's your level of pain? That's the question. Because like I told you before, it's the only two times that people will change is pain and fear of future pain. If it ain't them two, then nobody's changing. Because I certainly wasn't. You saw my pictures. I wasn't. I did 20 years in the military. What the hell, some issues, but nothing like these. As soon as be retired, bam. As soon as I turn, yeah. It's because when you're young, and it's because it's called the middle years. So if you did 20 years in the military, that means you're about 38, about 40 years old. Right? Same thing with me, right? When I was in the military, I was fit and I was at the Naval Academy. I'm like, you know what I mean? I'm teaching the United States Naval Academy students. Like the same stuff, same way that I teach y'all was the same way that I taught them. But that's where I learned. I learned how to teach at the Naval Academy. And yeah, I was in great shape. And then I turned 30, and then it started to catch up to your boy. And then I turned 40. When I turned 40, here's what happened literally the day I turned 40. Doctor's visit, diabetes, heart disease, obesity at the age of 40. All at the same doctor's visit. I told y'all that earlier, didn't I? Yeah. 4 shots a day in pills. I hate this. Y'all, but the question is, how much do you hate it? Do you hate it to the point where you're going to take some action? Because again, your level of pain will determine how, if you were going to act or not. That's it. It's just your level of pain. That's how much pain are you in is the question. New here. A1C 6.2. I'm at it's 5 point. Hold on. New here. Hold on. My A1C is a 6.2. I'm 56 years old. Is this 14-day blood sugar reset a good start? Is it a good start? It is a fantastic. It is the hands down equivocally Disney. It's like Disney World for diabetics. Why? It's because I created it. I was, like I just told you, diabetes, heart disease, and now I'm a nutritionist. So I just taken all of that stuff. Here's what the 14-day challenge is for. People who just don't know anything about anything. They're like, Kelley, I'm motivated and all of that stuff. I'm ready, but I don't know what the hell to do. I don't know what to do. I don't know what it is. I'm trying this. I tried this. I tried that. I tried this. I'm trying. If you gotten to the point where you're just tired of trying, like I tried this, I tried that, I tried this, and I tried that. Well, the 14-day blood sugar reset challenge is for, we're going to put the trying out and we're just going to go do it. Here's what you got to do. And we're going to shortcut the whole process. 14 days is a blueprint. You go to the grocery store, you get the food, you cook the food, you eat the food, you get the results. That's it. That's it. That's what the challenge is about. You want to join the 14-day blood sugar reset challenge. You click the link in my bio. You use that live discount code, SAVE20. You're joining the challenge for not $99, but $79. You're doing the 14-day blood sugar reset challenge. But the challenge is not for everybody, though. It is not for everybody. It's only for people who have gotten to the point where they're like, it's of course for people with pre-diabetes, gestational diabetes, PCOS, type 2, all that stuff. But it's for the people who have gotten in enough pain. And they're saying, you know what? That's who the challenge is for. Will this help with blood pressure? These are the pillars of health. These are the pillars of health. So it doesn't matter if it's high blood pressure, high blood sugar, high blood, whatever. These are whatever your condition is. These are the pillars of health. This is called lifestyle medicine. Lifestyle first, medication second. You want to get rid of the high blood pressure medication? These are the pillars of health. We're teaching in the 14-day challenge. We're teaching you clean eating, but this is overall. This is what I teach. This is what I teach my clients in my 90-day process. The whole thing, my 90-day program is this whole thing. But in the 14 days, here's what we're focusing on. We're going to get you a quick win. So all we're going to focus on is clean eating for 14 days. $79 to join the 14-day blood sugar reset challenge. Right? Let's see here. Other questions. I am a nurse, so I work 12 hours a shift. Should I be fasting all night? Ideally, I'm a nurse. I work 12 hours. Hold on. I'm a nurse, so I work 12 hours a shift. Should I be fasting all night? You should fast at least. Everybody should fast at least 12 hours a day. At least 12 hours a day. So if your last meal is at 7 p.m., make your next meal 7 a.m. So at least 12 hours a day. Wherever you can fit the 12 hours in, based on your schedule, fit the 12 hours in. At least 12 hours. So don't be like 9. It's 9. This day I went 9 hours without eating. 12, 2 hours, 8 hours without eating. Go a minimum every day of 12 hours without eating. Let's see. Any questions over here? No questions over there. All right. Put your questions in the chat, folks. Don't be bashful. Hello. Will you explain how the fiber in beans works in your gut again? I will. We're gonna get when we get to sleep. When we get to clean eating, I'm gonna break down the whole beans thing again. But they're a resistant starch. Yeah, they resist digestion. We'll talk about that. Don't worry, Miss Prissy, I got you. Michael Scott joined. What did you join, Mike? You just joined the live? Come on in. Shout out to you, boss. My A1C is a 10.3. Doctor wants to put me on insulin. Your thoughts? Well, it's not my thoughts. It's your thoughts. What are your thoughts, John? That's a better question. What are your thoughts? Are you okay with that? With the doctor putting you on insulin? When here's the thing, John, the doctor's putting you on insulin, but here's the thing though. The problem is, if you're a type 2 diabetic, the problem is you've already got too much insulin. You've already got too much. You've got enough to go around for like a lot of people. More than just yourself. You've got enough to go around for like maybe a couple. I don't know how much your number is. But every time it's 100, that's one more person that you've got enough blood sugar. So if your blood sugar is at 200, you've got enough blood sugar for 2 people. If your blood sugar is at 300, you've got enough blood sugar for 3 people. If your blood sugar is at 400, you've got enough blood sugar for 4 people. And insulin. You've got enough insulin for 4 people. That's how much insulin you got. So, what are your thoughts, John? Your thoughts are, should you take the medication or not to take the medication? Which medication, the red pill or the blue pill? The red you escape the matrix, right? That's how they say red you escape. You watch the Matrix. You take the red pill or you take the blue pill. You take that blue pill or the red pill. The blue pill is taking the medication from the doctor and just going on about my life and just not changing anything and getting down to the real root cause of it. But the red pill, you watch the Matrix. The red pill means you escape the Matrix. This is for my people who taking the red pill right here. This right here, this is the red pill. Which one are you going to take? What about high cholesterol? That is hereditary. I don't want meds. Here's how. So with high cholesterol was hereditary in my family as well, too, right? But here's what I learned about that. Here's what I learned about hereditary, being hereditary. Yes, it does run in your family. Diabetes run in your family. High blood pressure run in my family. Cholesterol runs in my family. I told you, my mom, I didn't tell you, but my mom passed away too. When I got that picture I showed you, she passed away 2 months prior before I took that picture. And then I go to the doctor 2 weeks after I take that picture, and I get diagnosed with the same condition that she just passed away from. Heart disease, obesity, insulin resistance, all that stuff, right? Diabetes, all that stuff. That's what she passed away from. It's called metabolic syndrome. So yes, it does run in your family. But the question is now, so again, I told you I got my diagnosis, same stuff that she had 2 months after she passed away. So why now is it, the question is about the hereditary thing is, so why now do I not have diabetes? Why now do I not have heart disease anymore? High cholesterol and all that stuff. Why is it now that I'm no longer obese? Why is it that I'm no longer obese? Was it because of my genes? Was it my genes that caused me? It's like, you're no longer obese, Kelley. It was your hereditary. Now that's the reason that you no longer have diabetes, is because it was your hereditary. It was hereditary. No, the reason that I don't have diabetes anymore, folks, it ain't got nothing to do with my genes. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, genes set the stage. Yeah. Genes will set the stage. You're right. Genes will set the stage. But you want to know who steals the show? You want to know who steals the show? It's your lifestyle. It's your lifestyle that steals the show. Yeah. Yeah. Hereditary or not hereditary? You tell me. You tell me, folks. Hereditary or not hereditary? I just told you the whole story. Hereditary or not hereditary? All right, one more. Hereditary or not hereditary? You tell me. So those are my thoughts on hereditary. That's it. Hope that was clear. John, the red pill. Shout out to you, man. This is the red pill. This is the red pill. You saw the movie The Matrix. It wasn't a learning process that Neo had to go through, didn't it? He had to go through a learning process to become the one, to avoid the bullets and all that stuff. He avoided the bullets. Then he got to the point that Neo got so bad that he just went like this in the Matrix. Like when they shot at him, he just went like this. You know what I'm saying? And he just stopped all of the bullets. You know what I mean? And he just went and started kicking butt after that. You're gonna have to be Neo. It's gonna be a learning process. Morpheus is going to kick your butt in the training. Some of the agents are going to kick your butt. Out in the matrix, some of the agents are going to start kicking your butt until you start learning. And when you learn, you're gonna fall. But when you learn how to do this thing, when you start learning how to put this stuff into action, man, hereditary, hereditary. Come on. I wish you write it down for what you mean when you say diabetes type. You say I had type 2 diabetes. I'm deaf. Oh, yeah, I had diabetes. I don't have diabetes anymore. You know what I mean? I don't know if there's like a button. Maybe there is a button like it does like translation. I don't know. I have to figure that out. Thank you for. I'll figure that out. How to make it uh hearing impaired. I don't know. I have to figure out how to do that. I'll look into that though. I'm pescatarian. Can I do it? We're gonna talk about clean eating right now. Eating is next. We're gonna go 5 more minutes in questions, and then we're gonna start talking clean eating. I watch what I eat, avoid all of the bad foods, and my cholesterol still runs high. Why? It's because there's more to it than just eating. There's more. Eating is the main part, but look, it's your whole lifestyle. Everything, drinking included. Drinking included. We're gonna talk about clean eating right now. Lifestyle change. That's it. Is it the genes or the way we have been taught to eat? It is the way you have been taught to eat. Like I said, genes set the stage, but your lifestyle is gonna steal the show, man. Your lifestyle is the one gonna be like, yo, you on Broadway? Lifestyle stole the show. Damn. Lifestyle changes stole the show. That's what stole the show for me. It wasn't my genes. I just told you what happened when my mother passed away. And then 2 months later, I go and I get diagnosed with the same thing that she had. Yeah, that's hereditary. That was my genes. They set the stage. But the lifestyle I led was eating a bunch of crap, all that stuff. Eating a bunch of crap, being a couch potato. I told you what I used to do. That's it. And as a result, that all caught up to me. It didn't have anything to do with my genes. It did. It does, but it doesn't. It does if you live the same lifestyle that your family lives. If you live the same lifestyle that they live, yeah, you're going to get diabetes too. You're going to get heart disease too, most likely. But if you totally flip the script, man, the chances of you worrying about that, the chances of you getting that, I showed you my pictures. I showed you what would happen. I told you what would happen. Makes sense. My life is upside down and I spiked. Yeah, that's it. You got to get this lifestyle stuff right, man. Because here's the thing: when the diet and lifestyle is wrong, medication is of no use. But when the diet and the lifestyle is correct, medication is of no need. When the diet is wrong, medication is of no use. But when the diet and the lifestyle are correct, medication is of no need. It's of no need, folks. No, Prissy, I ain't come to play with you today. I hear you. I hate when they say hereditary and genetics. I went vegan 6 months ago and all my numbers went down. You changed, right? You had to change. Something changed. You had to do something to change. And as a result, 6 months later, your numbers are down. Something had to change because if you stayed the same, guess what happens? For things to change, you're gonna have to change. And you just proved that, lovely dove. Lovely dove just proved it. For things to change, you're gonna have to change. That's it. That sums it all up. Hello, everyone. Yeah, what up? Facts. Okay, great. How can I get the phone? How can I get a phone session? Click the link in my bio. Click the link right here. Click the link in my bio. Everything's there in my bio, folks. Everything. Everything is in my bio. Here it is. Look. Look. Click right up here. Where's my bio. Do me a favor, folks, man. Bebop that screen, man. Bebop that screen as much as you can. Share this live out with anybody that you know that is struggling. And yeah, bebop that screen, folks. Exactly. What's 14 days with you? 14 days with me is about doing the work. That's what it's about. We're going to take you. It's a blueprint. I'm going to show you what 14 days is right here. I'm going to show you. Is with me. 14 days with me is here. Here it is right here. Click right up here. Click on my picture again. Looks like we're done with the Q&A. For my folks on TikTok, for my folks on the other one, it's the same thing. It's linked in there. It's in my bio right here. Let me see if I can see it. All right, here we go. Right here. Boom. It's 14 days with me. There's the quiz free, masterclass free, where I break down this whole thing. All right. Quiz and the masterclass are right there. And then the challenge is where you spend 14 days with me. The blood sugar reset challenge. What is it? Right here. 14 days, 42 meals, all designed by me. It's called the Reset. 14-day blood sugar reset challenge. What is it? What can you expect? You can expect to get amazing results in just 14 days if you're doing the work. You're doing the work as prescribed. This is your new prescription. It's called lifestyle medicine. All we're doing is tinkering your nutrition. That's all we're doing. In 14 days, that's all we're doing is tinkering your nutrition. It's $99 join the 14-day blood sugar reset challenge. But while I'm live, you use that live discount code. You join the 14-day blood sugar reset challenge for $79. $79 to join the 14-day blood sugar reset challenge. Everything that you get, you need help. How do you email us? How do you get in contact with us? All of that stuff's there, folks. So that is the 14-day blood sugar reset challenge. But again, you've got the masterclass absolutely free. If you don't want to say, like, listen, Kelley, I'm not at the point yet where I'm ready for that kind of change. Because these are for people who, it's not for everybody. I'm telling you, it's not. It's only for people who are serious. If you're not serious, it ain't gonna be for you. If you're at that point where you're still kind of dipping your toe in whether you want to change or not, whether you want to take the red pill or the blue pill, because you're at that point where you're like, should I take the red pill or should I take the blue pill? If you're at that point, you want to stay with the blue pill, like I want to stay inside of the matrix. No. You're not gonna be ready for the challenge. The challenge with the people who take the red pill, like, yeah, let's get up out of here, bro. Let's get out of the matrix. How do you get out of the matrix? This is step one. That's why it's like a boot camp I'm gonna put you through. 14 days, 42 meals, all designed by me. Just follow the blueprint, and you're gonna get similar results, just like everybody else, just like Kim did, just like all the other people who come on here and they share their story about their experience in the 14-day blood sugar reset challenge. So that's where it is. So you can click that link in my bio, folks. Quiz, masterclass, book a free call, all of that stuff. The challenge. It's like Disney World. I grew up in Orlando. The reason I created it like that, folks, is because I grew up in Orlando. And if you've been to Orlando, you know this Disney World is in Orlando. And Disney World is the greatest place on earth for a kid. If you're a kid, man, Disney World, greatest place on earth. That is how I built that link. I actually auditioned to be Mickey when I was a kid. I literally auditioned to be Mickey Mouse as a kid. But I didn't get the role. Here's why I didn't get the role. I worked at Disney. That was before I joined the military. Last job I had before I joined the military. I didn't get the role as Mickey Mouse because I was a quarter inch too tall. A quarter inch, folks. A quarter inch too tall. So I didn't meet I exceeded the height requirements because they don't want Mickey being all tall, intimidating the kids. And I'm 5'2", and I'm considered tall. I'm 5'2" tall, and I'm considered tall. Too tall to be Mickey Mouse. You have too much noise going on. I can't hear you. All right. What do you mean too much noise going on? I don't have any noise. You look taller. Ah, appreciate that. I appreciate that. All right, let's go, folks. That's it. Now we're gonna talk about clean eating. Let's talk about clean eating. Any questions on the workout you're gonna have to do? You want to join the 14-day challenge? Use that discount code SAVE20. How would I get to you? Click the link in my bio. You get to me. Click the link right up here. Click here, and then click on my picture again. And then click that link, and you're going to get to me. Yeah, everything is in there. Click on that link. Link to my bio. All right, now let's get into it, folks. Let's get into the next topic of the day. Everybody's favorite topic. Everybody's favorite topic. Everybody's favorite topic, folks. What is that? Eating. Eating. Let me drink some water. I've been talking a lot. Give me like, folks. We're talking clean eating. When I come back, I'm gonna take a 1 minute break. How long have we been at this? I'm gonna take a 1 minute break because I've been talking for a little bit, and I'm gonna go to the little boys' room, and I'll be back, and we're gonna talk more about clean eating. So, but while I'm doing that, folks, go take the quiz. Go register for the master class. And if you're ready for real action, go register and join the 14-day blood sugar reset challenge. And those were my real action takers. For my people who have said we're ready for serious action. But folks, I'll be back in less than a minute. I'll be back, folks. Don't go. We're back, folks. Let's see. Man, you guys are hanging around, man. Appreciate that. You guys are a good class, man. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Everybody's favorite topic. What do I eat? What's clean eating? What is it? All right, let's talk about it. Let's find out who enjoys counting calories. Who enjoys it? Or who hates it? Let me say that. Who hates counting calories? Like, yo, bro, I hate counting calories. I strongly dislike it, Kelly. I strongly dislike counting calories, man. Put a me in the chat if that's you. Put a me in the chat if you strongly dislike weighing your food, counting your macros. When they say, listen, you got to lose weight. You got to lose weight, but we need you to count all this stuff, man. Who hates doing that? Put a me in the chat. Anybody over here? Anybody on my camera on the right? Anybody over here? Hate counting calories. Okay, not very. Everybody enjoys it, I guess. Then maybe I don't know if this thing broken. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Here we go, folks. Two people hate it. Okay, me, I do. Me, yeah. Jason does. User 6717 does. What's up, Spiced? What's up, Raymond? What's up, Deborah? Me, William, he hates it. The question is, why do you hate it? Don't even know how. That's it. Good morning. Her. Don't even know how. That's what some people say. What if there were a different way? What if there were a different way, folks? What if there were a different way to actually lose the weight? What if there were actually a different way to keep your blood sugar stable? What were there a different way? And that's called the clean eating plate, folks. The clean eating plate. 50%, now 25%, 25%. We're gonna start to fill those in. Now, do you have to eat like this all the time? No, you don't eat like this all the time. It's about what you do most of the time. It's about what you do most of the time. Tyler, that is correct. All right. I'm gonna get back to your questions in a little bit. It's about what you do most of the time that matters the most. That's what matters the most. What you do most of the time is what matters the most. So if you clean eating most of the time, that's what matters the most. Look at this. 50% veggies. 50% veggies. 25% when it comes to that one, but veggies. What kind of veggies? Here's the kind of veggies, non-starchy veggies in particular. Cauliflower, broccoli, asparagus, kale, cabbage, arugula, spinach, What else? These are cucumbers, celery. Just look up non-starchy veggies. Go put in non-starchy veggies. You put that in the chat. You put that in a search for non-starchy veggies. I'm gonna just give you some, but this is what we want: non-starchy, non-starchy, non-starchy veggies. Not just veggies, but specifically the non-starchy kind. All right. 50% of your plate. Then the next, we got protein over here. Protein. Ooh, what kind of protein? This kind of protein. Protein. What kind of protein? Natural, whole, unprocessed proteins. Leaner cuts of protein. As much as you possibly can. So what do I mean by leaner protein? Like chicken, turkey, whatever diet you eat, it does whatever you eat. But it's chicken, turkey, eggs, fish like salmon. What else? Tofu, tempeh. From our plant-based folks, tofu and tempeh. These are leaner sources of protein. Now, the ones that I'm not talking about is for the processed meats. You know the processed meats that I'm talking about. What kind of processed meats? Ooh, the ones that you get from like Louisiana, boudin. You know boudin if you're from Louisiana, that's a processed meat. The whole processed meat aisle we want to stay away from. So from the sausages to the bolognas to the hot dogs and to everybody's favorite one. Ooh, the bacon. Even the bacon, folks. Even the bacon goes into the bacon is not clean eating, folks. Hot dogs is not clean eating. Don't be going and competing in the 4th of July hot dog eating contest, because that ain't known. With Joey Chestnut. You know what I'm talking about. You watch the hot dog 4th of July eating contest with Joey Chestnut. The world, he guy eats like 80 hot dogs in like 10 minutes. That guy. Don't be that guy. Fats. What kind of fats? Healthy fats. Avocados, nuts and seeds. You know what I mean? The 3 oils. The only 3 oils that are approved. Avocado, coconut, olive. If it ain't avocado oil, if it ain't coconut oil, avocado, coconut, olive, if it ain't any of those 3, throw them away. Well, people gonna be like, well, Kelley, well, what about canola oil, Kelley? No, throw it away. What about peanut oil, Kelley? What about grapeseed oil, Kelley? Is that a good one? I'm just going to keep it simple because there's so many other oils that I got to refute. I'll just say this. If it's not any of these 3 oils, avocado, coconut, or olive, throw it away. Throw it away. That canola oil, go to your pantry right now and grab that canola oil, the one with the yellow handle on it. Go get that one right now. And hopefully today's Monday, today's trash day in my neighborhood. If I had some canola in my pantry, I'd take it right now and I'd take it and I'd put it right out in the big dumpster and I'd let the trash man come get it. Because that's where it belongs, folks. That's where it belongs. Anyhow, so those are facts. Now, let's go to the last category. Last category is carbs. And we're going to put over here fruit. And we're going to put a down arrow, folks. Now this eating thing, man, can get super, super complicated with the eating thing. So we're going to try to keep it as simple as possible. Like I told you, man, eating is so highly debated, it's not even funny. Like, I mean, you see how I'm cracking jokes and all that stuff, but when it comes to eating, like, it's not even funny. Like, people do not play with their food. Carbs. What kind of carbs? Complex carbs. Like what? Rice, potatoes. What kind of rice? Well, whatever kind of rice that you want. It can be white rice, brown rice, whatever kind of rice. Here's the thing. Yeah, some are better than others, but at the end of the day, have whatever kind of carbs that you want, except for the junky carbs, the ultra processed carbs. Have whatever kind of carbs that you want, basically, as long as you obey a simple rule. You can have whatever kind you want, pretty much, except for the junk ones. So whether it's rice, quinoa, corn, even potatoes, whatever that is that you want. But here's the thing. As long as you obey this rule. We're going to come back to this rule. But the rule is you can go down on the carbs, but you can't go up. You can go down on the carbohydrates, the fruits, and all that stuff. You can even have whatever kind of fruit that you want. But here's the thing. You got to know how to eat this thing. You got to know how to eat them. You can even, folks, what you can do, so this is how you eat, folks. But what you can do is you can start to shift these numbers around. And I'm going to show you how to start shifting these numbers around. Watch, I'm going to bring it closer. So I can show you exactly what I'm talking about over here. How you can shift these numbers around. Watch this. Let's just say one day, this is how you want to eat, right? This is the base. This is like the core pillar. This is like the core pillar, right? But if you eat like this most of the time, woo, fantastic. It's not what you do. You don't have to eat like this all the time, but it's about what you do most of the time. You can make this thing so simple that you can even grab your own plate. This plate right here, look at this. It's called a clean eating plate, folks. Doesn't that look familiar? Look at that. Look at that. 50% veggies right here. Ooh, no, right here, sorry. 50% veggies right there. Look at that. You can make your life so simple that you don't have to count calories. You won't have to weigh your food. All you got to do is get yourself one of these clean eating plates. Go get yourself one. Look. Go get yourself one. And you can make your life so simple. Look, watch. You can put your proteins right over there. You can put your carbs right over here. Remember the rule. You can go down on the carbs, but you can't go up. Remember that rule. Remember that? You can even switch it around, folks. You can even one day you be like, yo, today I feel like, here's what I feel like today. Today I feel like giving myself more protein. Today I feel like giving myself more protein. Look at that. More protein today. So you go 50% protein, and then you can bring your you can bring your veggies right here. 25%. Look at that. Your carbs can stay the same. Look at that. But here's the thing. You can play around with these percentages over here. 1 and 2. You can play around with this. I'm going to label these. 1, 2, 3. You can change the percentages over here in 1 and 2. You can go more protein one day. You can go more veggies one day, depending on what kind of, you know what I mean? You could put a nice but beautiful stir fry over here. Look, crazy, right? It's crazy. All you got to do is get yourself one of these plates. And you can look, 50%, boom, boom, boom. You can even get so crazy with this plate. You can even take this plate with you to the cookout, to the barbecue, to the outing, to the whatever. You're like, I'm so serious about my health. You can say this. I'm so serious about my health, man. I ain't avoiding this thing no longer. I'm not avoiding doing the work any longer. You take your plate with you, and people gonna be like, "Why you bringing your plate to the party?" You be like, "Cause that's how serious I am about getting my blood sugar back to where it wants to be. Just getting my health, getting the inflammation out, man. Just getting back to myself, right? Because a lot of people are paying the price. A lot of people are paying the price. It's not just me. Who else is paying the price? Who else is paying the price for me suffering from diabetes? Oh yeah. Are my kids paying the price? Is my family paying the price? Paying the price? Let's just say you want to start a family. Let's just say you want to start a family, but you can't really start a family because of this little thing called PCOS. PCOS is preventing you from starting a family. Okay? Erectile dysfunction is preventing you from starting a family. Why? Because there's too much insulin in the body. And that's why you want to get your health back so you can start a family. So that's what I told you earlier. Go look in the mirror. Go stand in the mirror and go ask yourself, just stand in the mirror naked and give yourself 5 good reasons as to why you deserve better health. 5 good reasons as to why you deserve better health. Anyhow, you can get one of these plates from my showcase. You can get one of these plates from my TikTok showcase. That's where you get the plates from, in my TikTok showcase. Now, there's a lot of them out there. You can go and get them from anywhere, wherever, where you can go get them from freaking the dollar store, whatever. But the best ones that I've seen are the ones that are in my showcase. These are ones that are big. These are big. Some of the other ones are so freaking tiny. These are pretty. These you can actually get full off of these. You know what I'm saying? You can be like, I'm satisfied when you get one of these. Those are in my showcase. But anyhow, folks, clean eating plate. This is making sense to y'all, folks. This is just part one of it. This is just part one. We're gonna cover more. We're gonna build this plate. We're building the plate right now. We're gonna have a whole bunch more markings on this thing when we're done. But right now, I want to make sure that this is making sense to y'all, folks. This is making sense to y'all. Put a health yes in the chat. And somebody just joined the challenge. Shout out to them. Shout out to them for joining the 14-day blood sugar reset challenge. I don't know who it is, but I had to go look and see. But anyway, this is what they said. They've gotten to the point where change isn't just desire. Like change is not just desire. You know what I mean? I don't just desire change. You know what change? You know what it is? It's downright necessary. Change, that's what they said. For them to join the 14-day blood sugar reset challenge, they said this. Change isn't just desire. This clean eating thing, I don't just desire this. It is downright necessary, Kelley. Let's go. Shout out to them though. Any questions on this? Any questions on clean eating? Because this is we got a lot of questions on clean eating. I'm gonna probably have to sit down on this one because we always get a lot of questions on clean eating, folks. This is one. I mean, we're gonna be here for. It's 9:34 right now. We're gonna give it about. This is. I'm telling you, it's a lot of questions about clean eating. So let's go. Let's go. Q&A time, folks. Q&A time. Oh, you want to join the 14-day blood sugar reset challenge just like they did? Click the link in my bio. Start putting your questions in. Click on my picture again, and then you're gonna come to this. For my folks on my different networks, same thing. Click the link in my bio, right here. Look at this, and you're gonna come to this. Just join it. How do you begin? You begin right here. Here's where you begin. Right here. This link in my bio is where you begin. This is where the quiz is. Look, that quiz. Oh, if you're on TikTok, this is where it is. There's the quiz. There's the master class. And there's the 14-day blood sugar reset challenge. There it is. So the quiz, masterclass, 14-day challenge. What else? Oh, booking a call. That's all there. Like I told you folks, this link is like Disney World for diabetics. Like I'm not playing when I tell you that this link is like Disney World for diabetics. Literally everything that you want is on there. From the guy who was a diabetic, who did have heart disease and was obese, right? He built it, right? Now he's a certified nutritionist, and he's just going to tell you exactly what he did. All this stuff right here. This is all it. This is all the information that you need right here. But there's a difference, though. There's a thing. There's a big gap between knowing and doing. There really is. There is a huge gap between knowing something and doing. Huge gap. Let's get to these questions, folks. All right. Warren, tap his link in the bio. Yeah, tap my link in my bio, Warren. And if you can't, send me a DM. We got you, Warren. Don't worry. Where would I find that? Yeah, just click right up here and then click on my picture again. And then there's a link right there. These companies are loading their shelves with a lot of types of sugars just to make the almighty dollar. Yeah, that's it. That is exactly why they're doing it. They're doing that. Yeah, they want to make as much money as possible. But they can only make as much money as possible is if they keep you, the consumer, happy. And what does the consumer want? The consumer wants all of that sugar. So that's why they stack their shelves with it, because that's what they want. Their interest is not your health. The food industry is not your health. It's not like why they make all these products and stuff, because it tastes so good to you and it does your body so good. That's not why they do it. That's what the commercial says, but that's not why they do it. They do it because money makes the world go around. Good morning. Can you get rid of diabetes just by eating? Just wonder. I was just diagnosed with pre-diabetes. That is what we're talking about. It's exactly what you can do. It's exactly what. Now there's a little bit more to it, but that is a very, very key pillar. Yes. Peaceful mind, active body, clean eating, effective sleep. Go register for the master class. And you missed the formula earlier, but yes, clean eating. That's why we're talking about clean eating. Pre-diabetes, PCOS, whatever condition that you got, high blood pressure, whatever. It's all about this, man. Clean eating. Health, yes. Started eating like that from day one. Started eating like that from day one. Been diagnosed average type 2 average blood sugar 90-96, all readings. Okay. Just joining. How did I begin? Click the link in my bio. How are lentils, chickpeas, and kidney beans? Yep, that's it. We're about to talk about beans right now. That's it. It's hard to read all those questions and comments. Yeah, it's a lot of questions and comments. I know it. I try to do the best I can, though. Here's a question. What was the question? Oh, beans. Yeah, that's it. That's a question about beans. Beans, folks, are the great equalizer. Here we go. Let me see. The great equalizer is this: beans. Beans. Oh, what kind of beans? People are like, well, what kind of beans? And what are beans? Someone was asking about beans earlier. Well, why are beans a great equalizer? What do they do? Oh, because they're a resistant starch. That's why. Beans are what's called a resistant starch, meaning they resist something. Yes, they are a starch. People are like, well, beans raise my blood sugar. Yeah, they do. They do. But let's talk about that. I'm going to tell you why they raise your blood sugar. Here's go. They are starch, but they're what's called a resistant starch. They're not just starches like carbs and stuff. They're not just like regular stuff. They've actually got superpowers, kind of like Superman. Like, we're all human beings. We're human, but there's only one Superman. You know, the movie just came out, the Superman movie. There's only one Superman. These things are different. They're resistant to digestion. You can't digest these things. So you're like, well, if I can't digest it, why the hell would I want to eat it then? Well, because here's why you want to eat it. Here's how beans work. You eat the beans, they go in your stomach, and then they go into your small intestines, and then they're supposed to start getting digested at that point in the small intestines. The small intestines are supposed to start digesting them, but then they don't. So the beans just go all the way through. Basically, they get like a free pass. They get like a hall pass. Remember when you're in school and you got a hall pass, and somebody see you out, and one of the teachers see you out, like, well, what you doing out here in the hallway? And you be like, ah, ha, ha, I got my hall pass, boom. And you slap that hall pass on them? Come on now. That's what beans are like. They get a freaking hall pass all the way through. All the way through until it gets to your large intestines. And when it gets to your large intestines, undigested, that is where the gut bugs, the in your large intestines, the fiber, the gut bacteria, they eat the fiber from the beans. They love it. They love it They love the fiber. So they were like, oh, you can't digest it, but we're going to eat up all that fiber. So you get the fiber from the beans, you get the fiber from the veggies. That's where you get the fiber from the beans and the veggies. That's where you get them. And as a result, your gut is going to be very, very happy because you gave it some fiber, real fiber. And the real fiber comes from the veggies and the beans. It doesn't come from over the counter like Metamucil and all that other stuff. It comes from when you walk into the grocery store and you see all those different colors and all that stuff. That's fiber. That's the fiber. All the different colors, the orange, the yellows, in the produce aisle, the orange, the yellows, the purples, and the reds, and all of that stuff. That, folks, is the real fiber. And the beans, too. That's the real fiber. Okay? So that's why beans are so important, because they feed your gut bacteria. Your gut bacteria love it. They're resistant starch. And as a result, what does that mean? They can't be digested. As a result, what does that mean? That means that, yeah, they raise your blood sugar, but they raise your blood sugar slowly because they're resisting digestion. So they're slow. When the blood sugar, when the glucose finally gets released, it's going to be a lot slower than what it does if you would have just ate just like a big bowl of rice by itself. You just go eat a big bowl of rice by itself, it's going to shoot your blood sugar so high that you couldn't even possibly imagine. You're going to have a ho-ho Twinkie or a ding dong or a piece of, or for breakfast, let's just say for breakfast, let's just say for breakfast this morning, you had toast and jelly. You had toast and jelly this morning. You had toast and some jam, and that was your breakfast. And you went out about your day. Man, your blood sugar is going to go so high, and then it's going to crash. That's because you ate all that stuff on an empty stomach, and there was no resistance at that point. There was no resistance. It's called putting clothing on your carbs. So put clothing on your carbs, folks. What do you mean, Kelley? Put clothing on your carbs. Well, I mean that you should never eat naked carbs. You should never eat naked fruit. Well, what do you mean, naked, Kelley? Why are you using all this derogatory language? Here's why. It's because you're supposed to put some clothing on your food, on your carbs. Put some clothing on your carbs. Have some decency, and don't let your carbs be out there streaking at the Super Bowl. Here's clothing, 1 and 2. Sections 1 and 2 is the clothing. The veggies. That's why they say eat your veggies first, right? Veggies first. Okay, that's why I got to know. All right, veggies first on the plate. And then number 2 on the plate is your proteins and fats. Remember the proteins and fats? The lean proteins and fats? The veggies. Remember the non-starchy veggies? The asparagus, the broccoli, the cauliflowers. Look up non-starchy veggies. You'll see what I'm talking about. Protein, leaner proteins like chicken and turkey and all of that stuff. Chicken and turkey and beef, whatever. Eggs, tofu, tempeh, whatever it is, that fish, whatever it is that you eat. Just make sure it's the leaner sources of protein, not the processed stuff, not the bacons and not the salamis and not all of that stuff. And the pepperonis and all of that stuff. And the boudin for my Louisiana folks. You know what I'm talking about when I talk about boudin. Okay? Crawfish. For my Louisiana folks, crawfish is not going to be in the clean eating category. Okay? Crawfish, for my Louisiana folks, you know what I'm talking about. If you've been to Louisiana, you've had some crawfish, you know what I'm talking about. That is not considered clean eating. Okay? Yeah, veggies, yep, that goes in the veggie. Yep, there it is. Yep. Fats. Remember the fats, healthy fats. So this is number 1 section, and then this is 2 section. When you're eating your plate, right? Section 1, you eat section 1. All right, cool. Section 1. And then after you eat section 1, then you eat section 2. Section 2 is next, which is the proteins and the fats. Whichever way you got it. Let's just say if you got more protein this day, you're still going to do your veggies first over here. Even though they're at 25%, you're still going to eat your veggies first. Then you eat your proteins and fats. And then your last category, you'd eat your carbs last. Remember that? But here's the thing. Remember that? Remember the rule? You can go down on the carbs, but you can't go up on them. You can go down, but you can't go up. So you can go down to 20%, 15%, 10%, 5%. Man, you can even go all the way down to 0% on the carbs because they're nice to have, but they're not, you don't need them. They're nice to have, but you don't necessarily need them. Because here's what you need. You need fats and proteins. You need essential fats and you need essential proteins. The reason that fat is essential and the reason that protein is essential is because you can't get some of the nutrients. Your body can't make some of the fats, like omega-3 fatty acids. It can't make omega-3 fatty acids. So therefore, it's essential for you to get it from an outside source. That's why they tell you to do things like have your fish oil, have your algae oil, right? That's what they go get fish oil, get your algae oil. You know what I'm saying? That's, you've heard that before, right? That is why. It's because fats are essential. Proteins are essential as well because your whole body is made up of protein. So protein is very essential. Literally everything you're looking at is made up of protein. That's all it is, protein. So it's essential to have protein. They're called essential amino acids. You've heard of that before. Your body can make 12 of those things. 12 essential amino acids. 12 amino acids your body can make. The other 8, the essential ones, you can't make. So you got to get those from an outside source, i.e. your food. Your food. And then lastly, folks, here it is. Your body doesn't even need carbs because it will make glucose from the fats and the protein. That is why they're essential. It's why they're essential because even if you don't give your body even carbohydrates, your body will still make glucose. Your body needs glucose. Your body doesn't need carbohydrates. It needs glucose. So with that being said, your body will make 1 teaspoon of glucose out of fats and protein at a minimum. These are nice to have, but you don't need them. Think of fruit as a dessert going forward. Like, fruit, think of it as a dessert. You would never wake up in the morning and be like, hey, what about fruit for breakfast, Kelly? You'd never wake up in the morning and eat banana pudding for breakfast, would you? You'd never wake up in the morning and eat a patty pie for breakfast, wouldn't you? You never wake up in the morning eating patty pie for breakfast, would you? You never wake up in the morning and have not your mama's banana pudding. You'd never do that, would you? Well, if you never do that, then it's the same thing with fruit. Think of fruit as a dessert. Never wake up in the morning and eat. Think about every time you wake up in the morning, you see a piece of fruit and you want to think about a patty pie. Would I have a patty pie for breakfast? Would I have birthday cake for breakfast? I don't think I have birthday cake for breakfast. So therefore, you put that down. So breakfast, what's breakfast? Breakfast works like this. What do you have for breakfast then, Kelly? Well, on breakfast, you just keep it super simple. You just eliminate section 3 for breakfast. That's it. You can have breakfast in anything, all these other categories. You can have the green light for breakfast, except for section number 3. You can have section 3 any other time of the day, but you're not having section 3 for breakfast. So what's that mean? Oatmeal, all that stuff like that. We're not having oatmeal for breakfast. We're not having a cream of wheat for breakfast. We can have beans for breakfast because they're resistant starch. We can have some non-starchy veggies for breakfast like broccoli, asparagus, cauliflower. All the non-starchy veggies. There's way more. I could have a piece of chicken for breakfast. I could have a piece of fish. I could have some tofu. I could have a tofu scramble. I can have an avocado with that. I can have some bell peppers over here with it. But what I can't have is some oatmeal. What I can't have is a big bowl of cereal. What I can't have for breakfast is ding dongs. I know everybody wants to eat ding dongs for breakfast. But folks, you cannot have ding dongs for breakfast if you're suffering. You're suffering from high blood sugar and insulin resistance, folks. I'm sorry, but you cannot have ding dongs for breakfast. Sorry. If you hang out with me for 2 weeks, we're not having ding dongs for breakfast. If you're expecting them the 14-day blood sugar reset challenge, like somebody really one time, they said that They joined the challenge, and then they said they don't want to do the challenge. They called me and were like, listen, I don't want to do the challenge. And I was like, well, why don't you want to do the challenge? Here's what they said. Where's the breakfast food? They wanted to know where the pancakes was. They wanted to know where the sausages was. They wanted to know. So they decided they didn't want to do the challenge because they didn't even have breakfast food. But little do they know, you're supposed to eat what you would normally eat for lunch. You'd eat it for breakfast now. We're flipping the whole game up. What that's going to do, somebody's saying, well, how do I get rid of my sugar cravings? How do I get, I see a question in there. How do I get rid of the sugar cravings and all that stuff? How do I get rid of my soda cravings and all that stuff? Step number one is this. Here's step number one to get rid of your sugar cravings and your soda cravings and all of that, right? Step number one is this. Have a savory breakfast. That's step number one. Have a savory breakfast. Have a savory breakfast. Step number one. What you mean a savory breakfast? That's sections 1 and 2, just like I just said. We're not having a sweet breakfast. Because if you have a sweet breakfast, you're just going to put yourself on a roller coaster. We can talk about roller coasters in a little while, but you're going to put yourself on a roller coaster. And it's called the glucose roller coaster. That's what you're going to put yourself on. So don't get yourself put on the get off of the roller coaster. Get yourself one of these plates. Help yourself get out. Go get one out of my showcase. That's where they get the best plates out of my showcase. But you can get them for wherever you want. You go to the dollar store or whatever, but they're not going to be the good ones. These are the good ones, I'm telling you. Like, look how big this thing is big. This thing is ginormous compared to some of those other plates out there. I'm telling you, like, listen. So that's how you do it, folks. And he just goes in a big old circle, just like this. It's a game. Here's another part. Here's another rule, though. Here's a rule, though. We're talking about rule. There was one rule. Remember that one rule? We can go down on the carbs, but we can't go up. You can have. Here's the rule. Here's the trade-off. I told you can have whatever carbs you want. Didn't I say that? You can have whatever you want, as long as you do not break this rule, and as long as you eat your food in the right order. 1, 2, 3. This is how you eat your food. So you can have whatever carbs you want, as long as you eat your food in the right order. 1, 2, 3. It's why when you go to the restaurant, it's why they bring out the veggies first. Don't they bring you an appetizer first? They don't bring out the dessert first, do they? They bring out the appetizer first. The side salad you get first, don't you? The Caesar salad, the Caesar salad. You get the side salad, whatever. You get the house salad, right? Veggies first, appetizer, and then look, protein. Don't they bring out the main course next? When you're at that restaurant, there's no way to bring out the main course next. Yeah, they do. They bring out the main course next. So that's why that's the main course right there. So that's number 2. And then finally, the last thing, when they see that you finished eating your main course, what is the waiter going to ask you? The waiter's going to come out and they're going to look at you and they're going to say, sir or ma'am, would you like? That's what they'll say. Would you like? That's how they'll come out. They'll get all your stuff and they'll come out and they'll say, would you like? Would you like what? Would you like to see the dessert menu? That's what they would ask you. Would you like to see the dessert menu? That's why this is number 3, folks. So as long as you eat your food in the right order, you can have whatever kind of carbs you want. And as long as you don't break the rule of, you can go up to 25% on the carbs, but you can't go down. I mean, you can go down to 20%, 10%, 5%, whatever. That's why I don't buy into that whole, like, you should eat 30 grams of carbs a lesser day and all of that stuff. Like, I don't buy into all of that. Because that's not how the body is. You know what I mean? It's not a number. It's not a number. How you can really tell how your body responds to carbohydrates is this. You wear a continuous glucose monitor. You wear a CGM. You put a CGM on, and you'll see exactly what happens when you eat that slice of pizza. When you eat that slice of pizza, you wear a CGM, and you eat a slice of pizza, or you eat that ding dong, first thing in the morning on an empty stomach. You eat that little Debbie snack cake first thing in the morning, and you're washing it down with a Pepsi first thing in the morning. And you see what happens to your blood sugar when you eat a sweet breakfast. And then you find out why you feel like trash the rest of the day is because you shot your blood sugar up real fast and then it came back down. You was on a roller coaster. You put yourself on a glucose roller coaster. Check this out right here. Carbs and never eat. Here's another rule. Last rule, and then we're going to get back to the questions. Last rule is this. Carbs and beans. Never eat beans and rice together. Don't eat beans and rice together. Don't eat beans and rice together. Right? You eat beans and rice together, what that's going to do is if you're a diabetic, you can eat beans and rice together. If you're metabolically flexible, you can eat beans and rice together. But if you're suffering from insulin resistance, if your A1C is high and all that stuff, eating beans and rice together, that should not be you. You should not be going to Popeyes and getting their famous red beans and rice. Right? And I know I'm going to hear it. I'm of a certain ethnicity, Kelly. We eat beans and rice all the time. You know what I'm saying? How can I go without beans and rice? What do you mean? And here's what I say. I say this. If you're suffering from diabetes, pre-diabetes, all of that stuff, you shouldn't be eating beans and rice together. Because that's it's going to cancel out the beans. They're basically going to join forces with the carbohydrates. So you can eat all this stuff. You can eat the beans and the beans with the veggies and the beans with the proteins and fats, but never eat the beans with section 3. Don't do that. That's another rule. Don't eat these two sections together on the same plate. That's it, folks. These are the rules. These are just rules that you got to follow. And then you turn around and you do it again the next day. It just goes back. It's a big circle. It's a big old circle. So any questions on this, folks, on what it means, what a clean eating actually is? Look at that. We did a whole masterclass on clean eating, folks. So there should be, if you got any questions, throw them in the chat right now. Listen, this is making sense to y'all. Put a health yes in the chat. Listen, and for my folks who are having trouble with this, who are gotten to the point where I need help with this, Kelly, I want you to click the link in my bio, register for the quiz, register for the masterclass. But if you're having trouble with this, if you're an action taker, if you say, Kelly, I ain't avoiding doing the work anymore, that's the work. That's the work that we're gonna have to do, Kelly. Let's do the work. Where do we do the work? Well, you do the work, and a couple hundred people have joined the 14-day blood sugar reset challenge. Right? This thing's been out for like a little over a month. Couple hundred people have joined the challenge. Here's what we're doing. I'm teaching how to clean eating. Teaching how to do clean eating. That's all we're doing. That's all we're focusing on. It's a blueprint. It's a blueprint, just like everybody else has done. Those 200 people that have joined, you just go to the store, get the groceries, cook the groceries, and get the results. Go to the store, get the groceries, cook the groceries, get the results. Same thing you do every week, right? What do you do every week? You go to the grocery store, right? Yeah, you cook the food that you get from the grocery store, right? And then you eat it. Right? That's what you do every week. This in the 14-day challenge, I'm just going to tell you to shop for some different stuff. We're going to shop for some different stuff. That's the only thing that's going to change. The only thing that's going to change is what you're shopping for some different stuff. And the only difference is on the backside of that, 2 weeks later, the only difference is when you went shopping this time and then you check back 2 weeks later and you actually did the work, you're going to notice that something happened to your blood sugar. And your blood sugar is going to be going back to that normal range, right? To that normal range. Hey, we got some folks over. What's up, Dupree? Great job, bro. Solid education. Man, this is what I learned. There it is. Look, Dupree, my guy Dupree. Didn't I tell you I used to be at the Naval Academy? Didn't I tell you that, right? Told you I used to work at the Naval Academy. This guy was my LPO, my leading petty officer, right? We learned how to teach at the Naval Academy. So this is how I learned how to teach all this, man. So shout out to my man Dupree. Right? Master training specialist. That's what I ended up getting. I became what's called a master training specialist in the United States Navy. All right. Was it hard work? Yeah, it was some hard work. You had to learn how to teach people and make stuff so simple that they can get it. That's what being a master training specialist is. It means to be a master is this. It means that you take something that's so complicated and you make it simple. You take something complicated and you make it simple. That's what it means to be a master. But an amateur, here's what an amateur does. An amateur will take something that is simple and make it complex, or amateur will take something that's complex and make it even more complex. That's what an amateur is. No, no, no. We're masters over here. Ain't that right, Dupree? Oh, here we go. Somebody requesting to come in. I don't know who you are requesting to come in. Here we go. Let's get to these questions, folks. Quizzes. We got quizzes. We got the quiz. Y'all took the quiz. Did you take the Magister class, folks? And when you're ready for change, the 14-day blood sugar reset challenge. This is what the people is about. Use that live discount code, folks. Save 20. You in the challenge for not $99, but it's $79 when you use that live discount code, save 20, to join the 14-day blood sugar reset challenge. And at the end of them 14 days, I promise you that your health is not going to be the same. Your blood sugar is not going to be the same. Let's get back to these questions. Mama is a dietitian. Shout out to your mom. And so if your mom's a dietitian, I know that you guys are in great health. I mean, you guys are doing great. Desert Bear? Homemade beans and rice, nothing fast food, right? It's a culture shock for me, y'all. But I got to do it's a culture shock. That's why I say it. I get it all the time. I tell people, hey, don't eat beans and rice. The first thing I'll be like, I get this all the time. Kelley, I'm of a certain ethnicity, bro. We eat beans and rice. I'm like, well, my response is this. It's choice time. It's choice time at that point. You got a choice to make. It's choice time. But I like Spanish rice and beans. Y'all. I know my mom told me about that. Y'all. Your mom's a dietitian. Okay, great. I eat out too much. Okay. Here we go. It says, best thing I've ever done. Yeah, Lisa. I saw 104 yesterday. 80% in good blood. Hold up. 80% in good blood count range. There we go. Look. Lisa did the 14-day blood sugar reset challenge. There it is. Lisa joined the challenge. She was one of the ones that said, you know what? She had diabetes for 20 years. And she said, you know what, Kelley, enough is enough. I've had that day, Kelley, where what day is that? The day that I said enough is enough. And today is the day that I turned my life around. And as a result, she went to work. Best thing she's ever done is joining the 14-day blood sugar reset challenge. Like I told you before, folks, I'm not saying that she said that. I didn't say that. I didn't, she said that for her blood sugar. We started off in the 360s, right? 360s. Now, yesterday, look at that. She's at a 104. From a 360 to a 104. Come on, bro. Yeah, it's kind of stuff that we're doing. 14-day blood sugar reset challenge. You want to join that challenge? Use that live discount code, save 20. You're joining the challenge for $79. And then you're going to be the ones that say, this is the best thing that I've ever done. Or you can continue to do what you've been doing the last, 10, 15, 20 years. You can continue to do that. Yeah. And I can tell you what's going to happen. I can foreshadow. I can see it. I can see it in the future. I already see it. You can go on doing the same thing you've been doing the last 5, 10 years. Okay, let's fast forward for just say 5 years. Let's just say you're 65 years old right now. And you fast forward to 5 years from now. In 5 years, you'll be 70. You want to know, and to celebrate your 70th birthday, you want to know the only thing that's going to change on your 70th birthday? Here's the only thing that's going to change on your 70th birthday when it comes to your health. The only thing that's going to change is your prescription. And it's going to be a stronger prescription. That's all that's going to change. Why? Why is that you're going to be your future? I already know. Why is that going to be your future? It's because you refuse to change. It's because you avoided doing the work. This is the work, folks. This is the stuff that people are going to avoid. People are going to be like, they're not going to be like Lisa. They're not going to be like Lisa and do the work. They're going to be like, I'm going to avoid that thing until the pain gets so great that I ain't got no choice but to change at that point. I got no choice. Does it have to get to that, though? Does it have to get to that point where you say, I got no choice because the pain has gotten too great? Is it worth it? Is avoiding what you got to do worth the pain? If it is, for some people it is. For some people haven't gotten to that day yet. Some people have not gotten to the day where they say, this is the day that turns my life around. I don't care how long you had diabetes, 20 years. 20 years. Lisa had diabetes, been having diabetes for 20 years. But she joined the 14-day blood sugar reset challenge. That was the day that she said, enough is enough. This is the day that I'm turning my life around. And as a result, now from a 360 to a 104, because she decided to take action. How do I join the 14-day challenge? Here's how you join the 14-day challenge. And then we're going to get to your Q&A, folks. And then we're going to talk about, I don't know what we're going to talk about next. Here's how you get to it, right? Click right up here. Do me a favor, folks. Click, bebop that screen as well, man. Let's get this thing up to like 20,000, right? We're out of here in like 50 minutes. Let's get this thing up to at least 20,000. You know what I'm saying? Hit the bebop that screen. But here you go. Here's how you get to it. Click right up here. Here's how you get to all the goodies. Click on my picture again. And here's how you get to the challenge, folks. Here it is. Right? For my folks on the other ones over there, click the link in my bio. Right here. There's where it is. The quiz, the masterclass, and then the 14-day blood sugar reset challenge. The orange right there. Join it right. That's where you join. Again, it's not for everybody. If you feel like you would rather take the blue pill is to stay inside of the matrix and just to avoid it and to pretend like your diabetes is not that serious. That's the blue pill, and just take the medication. But the red pill, here's the red pill. This is the red pill. When you click right here, it's called lifestyle medicine. I'm going to introduce you to it. It says $99, but if you use that live discount code SAVE20, use that live discount code, you're joining the 14-day blood sugar reset challenge like so many other people have done. For $79. That's what you're joining the challenge for. And in 2 weeks, you're going to be looked back and you're going to say the same thing that Lisa just said. Best decision she ever made in her life. Because she used that live discount code. So that's the live discount code, folks. Any questions? Let's get back to the questions, folks. But there's a quiz, there's the master class, there's all types of freebies in there as well. I was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. I was diagnosed with diabetes 12 years ago. Okay. 12 years ago. Yeah. It doesn't matter how long it's been. Who said that? Desert Bear 40. It doesn't matter how long it's been. It could have been 20 years. It could be 30 years. But most people still won't get to that day yet. That day. What day? Like I said, the day it turns their life around. The day that said enough is enough. I'm disgusted with my current health situation. And they change. Most people haven't gotten to that day. And sadly, some people don't even make it to that day. You know? My sister didn't make it to the day. My older sister, who passed away at 55 years old from diabetes, she never made it to the day that turned her life around. She was taken, she lost her life before she had that day due to complications of diabetes 2 years ago. 2 years ago, I think, like, I don't know. What's the day? Yeah, like 2 years ago today. I think it was actually, is it today? Is it? Yeah, I think it is. I think it is today. But 2 years ago. Man, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, that's crazy. I think it is today. Sorry about that. Kind of threw me off for a second just thinking about that. Do you eat, sir? Do I eat? What's that? Sorry. Did you eat meat, sir? Sorry, do you eat meat, sir? Oh, whatever you want to eat. You know what I'm saying? So you could eat chicken, you could eat turkey, you can eat fish, you could eat whatever the hell you want to eat. You know what I'm saying? Tofu, tempeh, whatever it is that you want to eat. As long as you're obeying these rules right here. As long as you're obeying these rules of clean eating. That's what you can eat. Switch me to metformin. You want to switch to metformin? Foreman. All right. I'm just ready for change. Enough is enough. Yeah, enough is enough. When enough, here's when enough gets enough. When people will say, "I will do everything that it takes," I don't care, bro. When the pain is so bad, people will say, "All right, all right, man. You twisted my arm enough, pain. You twisted my arm enough, and I've gotten to the point where I'm actually listening to you now." Okay, and then that's when people will change. It's the only time people will change, man. It's so sad that that's the only time that people will change. Here's the thing, because we don't take anything serious. We don't take anything serious until it gets serious. When it gets serious, that's when we'll take it serious. Until then, we're not going to take anything serious. I'm just ready for change. Enough is enough. Join the 14-day blood sugar reset challenge. If you're ready, or click the link in my bio and register for the quiz, register for the master class. Download the PDF, right? The point, book a free call. The point is just do something. That's the point. Just do something. I open TikTok in my usual garbage content consumption, but this somehow popped up. Shout out to you, Elizabeth. Shout out to you. Appreciate that. That garbage popped up. But that's it, man. That's it. Clean eating. I told you it's the longest topic, man. People have questions. We can go into this for days. But this is essentially how I teach people how to eat. This is not something that's easy. It's not easy. But to make it easier, you want to get yourself one of these plates, though. You can get one of those out of my showcase. You can go get you one. You know what I mean? Here it is. Where do eggs go in? Right up here, section 2. Section 2. That's where it goes in. That's where it goes in. Section 2. All right, that's it. That's it for the question. Boiled eggs. Again, yeah, section 2. Section 2. That's it, folks. And we covered everything. No more questions. All right, we're gonna go on to the next topic. Like I said, folks, y'all want to join the challenge? Save that. Use that live discount code. Save 20. That is the live discount code, folks. You're joining the challenge, or not? Even if you don't want to join the challenge, you say, Kelly, I ain't had that day yet, bro. I hear you talking and all that stuff. Like all that stuff means nothing to me. What you saying, bro? Because I ain't had that day yet. Because at this point, Kelly, you know what I'm gonna still do, Kelly? We just talked about clean eating. You know what I'm gonna still do, Kelly? I'm gonna still eat whatever I want, whenever I want, however I want. And you ain't gonna do nothing about it, Kelly. And I'm gonna say, listen, I don't have to do anything about it. You know what I mean? I don't have to do anything about it. You're the one who's got to do something about it. And if you don't want to do anything about it, then that's your prerogative. But you gotta ask yourself who's gonna be paying the price for your neglect. You decided to neglect what it is that you needed to do was the work. You decided to neglect that, and now who's paying the price? You can't even go out and play. You can't even go out and play catch with your son now because and you can't run like you used to because your toe got amputated because of you avoided doing what you needed to do. And now they cut your leg right below the knee. Now you lost your vision. So when the ball is coming in with your son and he's throwing you the ball and you can't see it, boom, it hits you in the face because you lost your vision. All because of we decided to avoid the work. See what I mean? You ain't had that day. This just means you ain't had that day yet. That's all it means. All it means. All right, let's go to the next topic, folks. We're going to find out what's next. Are beans good? You just missed the bean. You missed the whole beans thing. The beans, man, where were you? Are beans good? What about beans? What do we eat with them? Well, what do we eat with them? You eat whatever you missed the whole beans thing. Come back tomorrow. I'm telling you, come back tomorrow. We'll talk more about beans tomorrow, but we spent a lot of time talking about beans. Now we got talking about what to avoid. That's the question. What is it that I need to avoid, Kelley? Because there's a lot of stuff out there that I don't know about, Kelley. Good morning. I had steamed green beans, roast chicken for breakfast. That's a savory breakfast. That's it. Steamed green beans and roasted chicken is a savory breakfast. You could have threw a healthy fat on there too, to top it off with an avocado or some nuts and seeds. That would have been, but that's great though, Dr. Dream Diva. You know what I'm saying? That's fantastic. I love that. And what's going to happen is you're going to have nice sustained energy throughout the day. You're going to notice that you ain't as hungry as you once was because you loaded up on some protein in the morning, right? I'm not sure what you mean, kill too pretty. If you buy it, let me know. Chat one videos. I mean, I don't know what that means. $1 video. I don't know what that is. Does fasting help? Ooh, fasting does help. If you're metabolically flexible, it does. Fast for at least 12 hours a day. But if you're not metabolically flexible, meaning if you're diabetes, you got diabetes real bad. If you got diabetes real bad, you should not be out there trying to fast. Start off with 12 hours, yeah. But then the next week, go to 13 hours. Train your body to fast. Just don't go from being someone who's suffering from insulin resistance real bad to someone who is fasting for 16 hours. You try that and it's probably gonna mess you up real bad. You're probably gonna get hangry along the way. You're gonna get real hangry along the way. Like you're just gonna be mad at people. So train your body to fast. 1 week go 12 hours. The next week go 13 hours. The next week go 14 hours. Then the next week go 15 hours. Then build your way up to 16 hours. You build your way up to 16 hours. Now, guess what? You did it seamlessly. And now you just made yourself more metabolically flexible. And you can fast for longer without getting hangry. That's what I say about fasting. Beans, and beans. What somebody said, desert beans, the musical fruit. The more you eat, the more. All right, you brought it back on that one, Desert Bear. You brought it back on that one. But beans they're great. Which reminds me, I need to go to the labs to the doctor. Yeah, head on over there. I've been intermittent fasting 16, 19 hours. Got diabetes. Hi. Does sleeping count towards fasting? Yes, it does. It does. That is the fast. That is part of it. That's the only time it can count, really. Well, you can do it other than that. But yeah, sleeping does. So great question. So if your last meal is at 7 p.m., don't make your next meal until 7 a.m. That's 12 hours. 12 hours, you just gone, right? And now you slept during that time. So you can make it so it seems so simple. And let's say your last meal is at 7 p.m. and then you want to go 3 hours without eating anyway, 3 hours before bed without eating. You want to give a 3 hour space. So that's 3 hours. Let's say you sleep, you wake up at 6 a.m., you get ready, and boom, by the time you get ready for work, it's 7 a.m. That's 12 hours later. You can do that seamlessly. That's 12 hours right there. Yep. Fasting blood sugar went from a 160 to a 105 eating this way. That's it. That's it. That's it, folks. Now we're going to talk about what to avoid. I want y'all to avoid this, folks. This is what we avoid. Now we know what to eat. Here's what we need to avoid. You want to avoid the crap. This is what you want to avoid. You're like, well, what's the crap, Kelley? You want to avoid the crap or you want to cut the crap, whatever you want to say. Whatever you want to say. Cut the crap, avoid the crap, whatever. Here's what you want to avoid. Because there's a lot of hidden dangers out here that we don't know about, folks. See, people asking about carbs, refined sugar. We're going to talk more about eating. The opposite of clean eating is crap. What's the C in avoiding the crap? The C stands for carbonated junk. Carbonated junk, folks. That's what the C stands for. Carbonated junk. Yeah, y'all help me get to 20,000, man. Appreciate that. Thank y'all. Thank y'all for helping me get to 20,000. Let me see. Let me see. Do me a favor and share this live out with anybody that you know that is struggling with diabetes, pre-diabetes, gestational diabetes, PCOS, all that stuff. And teach them to avoid the crap. Carbonated junk. What kind of carbonated junk? Sodas. You know what I'm talking about. The sodas. The Mountain Dew, like I used to love to have. Mountain Dew. What else? Pepsi. All of the stuff. You know the ones that I'm talking about. You go into the gas station, all the carbonated junk that's in there. That's what I'm talking about. Carbonated junk. Okay. Yeah, again, ginger ales, all that kind of stuff. You think like ginger ale would be people like ginger ale? That's great, right, Kelley? No, that's in the crap category. We talked about clean eating. Now we're talking about the crap category. Now, stuff that you can have that's carbonated are like carbonated waters. You want some carbonated water? Great. Okay. You want to have some Perrier and all that stuff, carbonated water? All right, cool. Yeah, I have carbonated water. It's cool. Yeah, when I want something a little different, you can have some carbonated water. But the carbonated junk, that's a whole different thing. That's a whole different thing. Carbonated junk. The R. The R stands in crap, stands for refined sugar. Refined sugar. So these kind of go hand in hand. You got some refined sugar in the carbonated junk, and sometimes you don't even have sugar in there. Sometimes you have like the diet cokes and all of that stuff. That's all carbonated junk, folks. Even the energy drinks and all that stuff, with all the Red Bulls and all that stuff, that's all carbonated junk, refined sugar together. Refined sugar, like table sugar. You see the thing on the back where it says added sugar? If you look on the label and it says added sugar, this is the added sugar. That's refined sugar. They just left refined off. Refined sugar is what they put on there. That's what it is. And that number, those numbers can go anywhere. Those numbers can get pretty high based on the grams. So you'll look on the back and let's just do a little math. I'm going to tell you how much refined sugar is in, like, let's say like an average Coca-Cola, right? An average Coca-Cola has about 40. I'm going to do the math. Here's a math equation. It has about 40 grams, give or take, about 40 grams of sugar. You look on the back, a can of Coke, 40 grams. 40 grams. Here's a little multiplication. So 40 grams times 0.24. Let's do the math. I'm gonna do the math right here. Average Coca-Cola. How much refined sugar is in an average Coca-Cola? Here we go. Check it out, folks. This stuff is gonna blow your mind. This is crazy. I'm gonna do the math equation. So I'm gonna do 40 grams of sugar times 0.24 equals, you see that number, folks? You see what that says? 9.6. You see over here, 9.6. See the math equation I did? 40 times 0.24. What is 9.6? 9.6 is how much sugar, refined sugar, is in a can of Coca-Cola. The 12-ounce can. So that means that if they took 10 teaspoons of sugar, 9.6 teaspoons of sugar, let's round up for the sake of rounding up, 10 teaspoons of sugar, and they went like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 teaspoons of sugar that you just drank. 10 of them in a 12-ounce can. But here's the thing, though. Did you know that your body is only supposed to have 1 teaspoon of sugar flowing through it at any given time? Just 1? That's all it wants to see? Blood sugar? We're talking about blood sugar. We're talking about diabetes and all that stuff. Just for the sake of knowing this is a fun fact. Your body only wants to see 1 teaspoon of sugar at any given time. That's all. That's why your body starts releasing insulin and all kinds of stuff to bring that sugar back down to the normal range. But when you just drink a Coke, you just drink 10 times the amount of sugar in about, let's just say it took you 10 minutes to drink that Coke, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, let's just say even 30 minutes to drink that Coke. But you just went 30, you just drink all of that stuff, all that sugar. And don't take it to the head like you're on your lunch break and I'm running short on time. And you just take it to the head. You just drank 10 teaspoons of sugar like that, and you shook your body into a shock wave. Refined sugar. Juicing, same thing. Same thing when you juice. Same exact thing. When you juice a fruit, you remove the fiber. It's the exact same thing, folks. It's still refined sugar. Even though it's natural, it's refined. The A stands for artificial stuff. I'm going to put stuff in quotations because I actually wanted to say a different word. I actually wanted to say a different word, but this is a family environment, so I decided to put the word stuff instead of the other word that I wanted to use. It was a 4-letter word, artificial And this artificial stuff, like artificial sugars, artificial sweeteners, as they call it, things like all of the artificial sugars, like sucralose, aspartame. These are all artificial sugars, folks. Artificial sugar, it may taste and it may say like, this tastes like sugar. It tastes sweet, right? It tastes sweet. Yeah. It tastes sweet, but it's not actually really sweet. It may taste sweet, but it's artificially trying to trick your brain to say that this is sweet. This is real sugar. But here's the thing. Your body is not stupid. Your body knows what real sugar is. Your body knows the difference between that real sugar from that Coke that you had versus that Diet Coke. Your body will know the difference between a Coke and a Diet Coke because it will crave even more sugar because your body's like, you think that I'm stupid? I know that this is not real sugar. So therefore, I'm going to crave more. So artificial stuff, sugar, stay away from those. The sweetened loaves and all of that stuff. Let's stay away from those. That's artificial stuff. The artificial colors. Artificial colors, folks. Taste the rainbow. Skittles. Who's ever had a Skittle? If you've ever had a Skittle, when you've had Skittles and you get that little pink, you get that red stuff and blue stuff on your tongue, you're not actually tasting the rainbow when that red stuff is on your tongue and all that stuff. I'm sorry to tell you, but if you thought that you were really tasting the rainbow like the advertisement says, you were not tasting the actual rainbow. What you're actually tasting is the artificial stuff. That's what you're actually tasting. It's called science. That's what you're tasting. Science. Chemistry. That's what you're tasting. It's not a rainbow. When you eat some Fruit Loops and you see all the different colors of Fruit Loops and all that stuff and Fruity Pebbles and all that stuff, that's not real. That's not the Lucky Charms, the rainbow on there. That ain't no real rainbow that you tasting them, all them greens and all them colors. That's called science, folks. The food sciences, there's a real profession called a food scientist and a food engineer. It is literally a real profession. And their job is to create stuff in the laboratory, to create stuff in the lab, to give it to you. To give it to you so the big food companies can take it and they can say, yummy. Let's get all of the money that we can. Let's make all the artificial stuff and all of the, it's basically like Frankenstein. That's why they call it, it's called Frankenfood. They Frankenstein the food, basically. Literally. As a food scientist and the food engineers, right as I'm talking, as I'm explaining this to you right now, there is someone in the laboratory, literally right now, trying to figure out a way to figure out, scientists, to figure out your bliss point. The bliss point for human beings, like You're like, well, what the hell is a bliss point, Kelley? Well, a bliss point is this. It's a real thing. It's a fun fact. It's what scientists are trying to accomplish, food scientists and food engineers. They're trying to find the bliss point. That is the point where your dopamine gets, when you eat something, your dopamine goes so high. Dopamine is the pleasure receptor hormone, the one that says, like, you know how when you get a new like on social media and someone likes your post and you're like, oh, somebody likes my post, or and you get that little dopamine hit. It's like, yeah, somebody liked it. Yeah. You get that little dopamine hit. Or if you eat your favorite thing, whatever it is that your favorite thing, you eat it and it's just like, oh. You've been wanting that chocolate, you've been wanting that milk chocolate, and you eat it and you just like, oh. Those are your dopamine. That's dopamine right there. So what the food scientists do, they're in the laboratory right now trying to figure out how to maximize the food so that it hits your dopamine, so that it hits your bliss point way quicker. Real quick. They're trying to hit it quick. And here's another fun fact. They say this is what it is. If it takes too long for someone to get to their bliss point after they eat the food that they engineered in the laboratory, actually what they'll do is they will tweak the formula. They'll tweak it until they get to the right point where it hits that bliss point. And you get to that point where you just like, you eat that candy like, and the food scientists are in the laboratory doing this. They're doing this in the laboratory. Anyhow, folks, the P stands for processed foods. That's what the P stands for. Processed foods. All right? Processed foods. It wasn't me that did the clap. It was the food scientists that are clapping. Okay? It's the food scientists, not me. Okay? It's not me that clapped. It was them. Processed foods. This is basically processed foods. It's just the sum of all of this stuff. You just name out some stuff, and I'll tell you if it's processed foods. But ultra processed foods basically is all the stuff. Just basically all of the stuff together. All of the artificial stuff, all of the refined sugar, all of the carbonated junk, to the products that they make, like that the food scientists make, like Doritos, Takis, Ding Dongs, all different types of stuff at the fast food joints, fast food restaurants. Did you know that there's literally people like in corporate fast food? They literally sit in their corporate office in fast food and think of ways to come out with new types of food. That's why you go to like Burger King and you see like, look at that crazy ass burger. Well, they sat in their corporate laboratory and they created that and they put it on the market to see if it will reach your damn bliss point. And you went and got it. And they said, yeah, it's a dirty game, folks. Here's the thing. I want you to remember what I told y'all earlier, folks, about the Matrix. Remember what I said about the Matrix? There's two pills, right? There's the blue pill. There's the blue pill. That means you're going to stay in the Matrix, right? You're going to stay in the Matrix. And you're going to be like, I'm going to still eat the crap. Even though Kelley told me what the engineers are doing, I'm going to still stay in the damn Matrix because it tastes so damn good. But the red pill, nah, I don't know if I want to take that red pill, Kelley, because these Takis taste too good, bro. These hot Cheetos taste too good, man. I ain't taking that. I'm not taking that red pill. Then getting out of the Matrix. It's choice time, folks. That's all I'll say. It's choice time. Are you going to choose to stay? Are you going to choose to take the blue pill and stay inside of the Matrix? Or are you going to choose the red and you're going to become Neo? You're going to become the one. You're going to become the one that's in your family. Who's the one that's in your family? Here's the thing. When people are asking about diabetes early and hereditary and all that stuff, diabetes being hereditary and all that, is that The question is, are you going to be the one? Are you going to be the one in your family that gets them out of the matrix? Are you going to be Neo? Are you going to be the one that says, diabetes ran in my family until it ran into me? Are you going to be the one to say that? Are you going to be the one? Or are you going to take that blue pill? Diabetes ran in my family until it ran into me. My kids are not going to get it. Their kids are not going to get it. My little nieces and nephews, they're not going to get it. My little nephew, you know what I'm saying? They're not gonna get it. None of my little cousins, they're not gonna get diabetes. Because diabetes ran in my family until it ran into me. It didn't stand a freaking chance. Clean eating, folks, avoiding the crap. Which one are you doing the most of? Are you doing mostly clean eating? Are you doing the clean eating? Clean eating, which is the red pill, or you're eating the crap, which is the blue pill, staying inside of the matrix. Are you gonna be Neo? If Neo didn't take the red pill, he would have never became the one, and there would have never been a part two of the Matrix. You know, part two of the Matrix when he started flying and all kinds of stuff. You would have never been able to fly had you continued to take the pill. You would have never known you had them kind of superpowers to be able to stop bullets had you taken the blue pill. Which most people will take the blue. Most people will when given the choice, they will take the blue pill because they think that is the easy way out. And the only thing that is an easy way out too is checking out of here faster. 15, 20 years too soon. It's a fast path to check your way out of here 15, 20 years too soon. That's what it, and then the life that you did have, it was spent in pain. Your last 10, 15 years was all pain. Last 10, 15 years of your life was all pain. Because you avoided change. You say, I'm gonna avoid change like the freaking plague. And then what happens when you neglected it, and guess what happened? Now the weeds have taken your garden. The weeds have taken your garden. You're like, well, Kelley, well, what does it mean, the weeds to take your garden? Here's what it means when the weeds take your garden. If you've got diabetes, the weeds took your garden a long time ago. And I'm gonna tell you what I mean by that. My father was a professional landscaper. He's a professional landscaper. As a kid, he used to always have me out there in the yard. We're working in the garden. He's like, the guy has gardens, like he had gardens like forever in the backyard, just gardens. And he's always out there tilling, pulling weeds, doing all kinds of stuff. So he had to tend to it. He had to work on it. He had to plant it. He had to do all kinds of stuff. He had to do the maintenance on the garden, or else the weeds would have took it. Because here's the thing about weeds. Weeds don't need anything. Weeds don't need the water. You don't need to water weeds. You don't need to give weeds sunlight. You don't need to give weeds great soil. You don't need to give weeds nothing. You don't need to do nothing. And they're going to grow. They're going to grow. All you got to do is nothing. And the weeds will take your garden. Literally. If you're not out there tending to the garden, like just like my father, I'll pull up some pictures and I'll show you my father. He's got big, like, we as a kid, I can never remember that we bought vegetables as a kid. We never bought vegetables because my father was always out there planting in the garden. Like, he's got big pictures. We got big pictures of he's holding like a cabbage, like big cabbages in the backyard. Whatever. My father grew it in the garden. And he'd have me always out there pulling freaking weeds, tending to the garden. I hated it. And that's the same thing, folks. If you have diabetes, It means that the weeds have taken your garden because you didn't do anything. You just avoided it. You just avoided going out and doing the work and tending to the garden and planting with care. You avoided planting with care because for the sake of comfort. And as a result, you're out of here 15, 20 years too soon for comfort because you didn't want to tend to the weeds. You don't want to take care of your garden. So that's what it means when you have high blood sugar, folks. If you've got high blood sugar, if your A1C is at, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, all that means is the weeds have taken your garden. It's because you didn't tend to the garden. For 25 years, for 50 years, we didn't tend to the garden. And as a result, we checked out of here 20 years too soon. That's it, folks. That's it. If you're ready to take that red pill, join the 14-day blood sugar reset challenge. Click the link in my bio. Register for the quiz. You can register for the masterclass. Click the link in my bio. Today's live, folks. Save 20. Use that live discount code. Save 20. You're joining the 14-day blood sugar reset challenge, and then I'm going to get to all your questions, folks. We're going to wrap it up with your questions. 14-day blood sugar reset challenge is right here. Man, let's get this thing to 25,000. We almost there. Come on. Hit your boy. Let your boy get to 25,000. Click this picture again. Click that link in my bio. Here's where it is. Then we're going to get to your questions, folks. Back to the questions. Here's where everything is. Right there. Same over here. Click right here. Here's the quiz. Free quiz that you can take to go understand and learn your diabetes management style. Right there. There's the quiz you can take, that very first one. And then the next one is, you got another one down here. The master class right here is free in the blue. That master class in the blue is free. 45 minutes where I break down this whole formula. I break down all these formulas in the master class. And then finally, for my action takers, for my people who are saying that, listen, they're ready to take that red pill. This is the red pill right here. This is the red pill. You know what the blue pill is. The blue pill means you decide to stay inside the matrix. Right? But now that you know that there is a red pill, here's where it is. The 14-day blood sugar reset challenge. What is it? It's for serious people who want serious change. It's for the people who have gotten sick and tired about being sick and tired of their current health situation. And no matter what they did, they tried this, they tried that, they tried all this other stuff, and none of that stuff's worked. Well, it's because they weren't taking the right pill. And then this one right here, the 14-day blood sugar reset challenge, you hang out with me for 14 days. That's why it says diabetic meds. That's why the name of this is diabetic meds aren't the only answer. Try 14 days with me. Hang out with me for 14 days, and I'm going to show you how to avoid the crap. We're going to clean eat. And in 14 days, you're going to be one of the success stories, just like so many other people have come on here today. Started off with Kim. She said hers was at a 282 at the start of the 14-day challenge. Now, she's on day 14, the last day of the challenge. 14 days, that's it. You're going to get outside of your comfort zone for 14 days. That's all it takes. You can't get outside of your comfort zone for 14 days? Come on now. That means you ain't serious. That's what it means. It just means you ain't had that day yet. That's all it means. Well, Kim had that day that turned her life around. So now she went from a 282 to a 102 on day 14. We know that she's going to wake up tomorrow, and that thing on the end of the challenge, she's going to be officially over. And then at the end of that, she's going to be below 100. You know what it means to be below 100? It means that you're out of the diabetic range. You're not even out of the pre-diabetic range. None of that. You're in the normal range. That's what it means to be below 100. Okay? She'll be there tomorrow. Going at the pace. Or than Lisa. Lisa, she started off at 360. 360? Was her blood sugar when we started? Now, look at it. She's at a 104. from a 360 to a 104. 14-day blood sugar reset challenge. You think that it's a game, folks. It's not. That's where we're doing it. Use the live discount code SAVE20. Instead of $99, you're joining the 14-day blood sugar reset challenge. Best decision you ever make, I promise you. 14 days, 42 meals, all designed by me. That's it, folks. That's it. Let's get to these questions. I'm gonna sit down for the last 15 minutes. Y'all questions. Can I sit down for you folks? I've been standing up the whole time. Can I sit down? Let's see. There we go. I got you. Here we go. Here we go, folks. Questions. What questions that you got for me? Let me bring my other mic down. Let's see. Let me get back to it. How do you feel about raw honey? Well, Manuka honey, I feel the same way. Hold on. Honey works like this. Honey works like this. If you use the honey, is very, very concentrated. It's very, very concentrated. So what that's going to do is going to raise your blood sugar just as high as any other. A teaspoon of sugar, just like I said. Teaspoon of honey, how much blood sugar do you want to see? Less than 100. You start getting that honey, the more and more honey you get, your blood sugar starts going higher and higher and higher and higher and higher. Honey is not great. Honey is not great for diabetics. If you're a diabetic, you shouldn't be having honey. You can have honey, it's your choice, but you probably shouldn't be. You know what I'm saying? Question. Yeah, questions. All right. You're quite welcome. Literally. All right, no doubt. Let's see. Clean eating. Red pill. There it is. Take that red pill, Angela. Neo spells one backwards. Oh, one O. Neo spells O-N-E. Neo spells one. No, not quite. Neo doesn't spell one backwards. Yeah. Clean eating. Let's see. I'm going to eat chicken and green beans this morning before work, chia seeds and yogurt for dinner. Okay. Fantastic. Can you tell me what the problem is with 0-calorie sodas? Well, here's what the problem is with 0-calorie sodas. Your body is real. 0-calorie sodas are artificial. So if you put something artificial into a real body, real cells, that's not good. Your body can't recognize artificial stuff. It wants real stuff. It recognizes real stuff. So artificial sugars aren't going to raise your blood sugar because it's not sugar. Sugar is what actually raises your blood sugar. Glucose and fructose. But it has none of that in there. It has a whole bunch of artificial stuff that simulates sweetness. But so what that's going to do is going to raise your insulin levels. Your insulin levels will raise. So if you're already insulin resistant, that's not good. And then what else? They destroy your gut as well. Destroy your gut bacteria. They destroy that as well because they're artificial. It's artificial. You don't want to put artificial stuff into your real gut bacteria. Your gut bacteria is real. They're not artificial. They want real stuff. So why are you giving it something artificial? And if you give it something artificial, that overall is going to damage your overall health. So that is why you want to stay away from the artificial stuff. You ain't eating a rainbow. You're not eating a rainbow. That's not, when you eat a Skittle, that artificial colors and artificial sweeteners and all that. So here's the 3 sweeteners that I recommend. Stevia, monk fruit, allulose. Stevia, monk fruit, allulose. Those are the 3. Stevia, monk fruit, and allulose. If it ain't stevia, monk fruit, and allulose, don't do it. Kelly, tell me Splenda has monk fruit. Kelly, you tell me Splenda has monk fruit. Is this good? And if not, which monk fruit? If it should be monk fruit, right? Monk fruit, and it's not Splenda. Splenda is a whole different thing. Unless Splenda made a version of monk fruit, I don't know. But it's going to be stevia, monk fruit, or allulose. Splenda is the artificial stuff. I'm new. My name is Tony. Is there a cure for diabetes? Well, we don't use the word cure. A lot of people say you don't want to use the word cure. You want to use the word reversed. We'll reverse it. Yes, it is reversible, Tony. That's what we did. That's what, if you're just joining us, here's we're getting ready to get out of here. But here's who I am real quick. Here's my before and after pictures. you're just joining us over here as well, I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you a couple of them. That was when I had diabetes, heart disease, and obesity. Right, all three: diabetes, heart disease, and obesity. So the thing is, now I don't have any of those. I don't have any diabetes. I don't have any heart disease. And as you can tell, I'm no longer obese. Look at that picture. Does that guy on the right look obese to you? The guy on the left sure does, but the guy on the right doesn't, right? This is after the age of 40. After the age of 40, I got diagnosed with all of this stuff. But you know what they say when you turn 40? That's it, bro. You get diagnosed with a condition at the age of 40, it's downhill, right? Or you get a dad bod at the age of 40. Isn't that it? Isn't that it, right? Isn't that it? At the age of 40? No. It's not all downhill from there. It's not all downhill from 40. If you look at my pictures, if anybody says that they can't do it, you just go meet the old version of me. You can do it, right? And shout out to somebody just getting the challenge. They just joined the 14-day blood sugar reset challenge because they are serious about change. They ain't playing around anymore. Which sweeteners is good? Stevia, monk fruit, allulose. What about okra water as my fiber? Now, as your only source of fiber? No, I wouldn't say your only source of fiber. It's great addition. Fantastic. Yeah. Do you recommend TRT? We're talking about diabetes. We're not talking about thyroid. Testosterone replacement therapy. You know what I mean? Diabetes though. Insulin. We're talking about, not testosterone. Agave. Even though they are related, but it's the whole big old thing. Agave is going to be no. Agave is even worse than sugar. Agave is more concentrated. Agave is just a more concentrated version of sugar. Yeah, Splenda is sucrose. Okay, there you go. Sucrose. So yeah, agave is just a more concentrated version of sugar. That's all it is. Splenda, yeah. Like, let's stay away from the sucrose. Sucralose. It's sucralose. All right. Splenda. Sucrose is sugar. I know it's technical jargon, but I know what you mean. Which brand of sweeteners do you recommend? Stevia, monk fruit, allulose. That's it. Stevia, monk fruit, allulose. Those are the three sweeteners. If it ain't stevia, if it ain't monk fruit, it ain't allulose. You can do the liquid kind, or you can do the crystals. Stevia, monk fruit, allulose. It's not really about the brand. Just make sure it's stevia, monk fruit, or allulose. What about fruits like pineapple, papaya, the sugar content? Yeah, what about them? Here's the thing about it. You missed fruit earlier. If we talked about fruit the whole time. Eat fruit as a dessert. Eat whatever fruit you want. Just eat it as a dessert. That was in clean eating. All right, come back tomorrow, man. We'll talk more about clean eating. We talked about that. Talk about that. What is the name of the sweeteners that you use? Stevia, monk fruit, allulose. I told you, man. We're not talking about testosterone replacement therapy. There's a lot of people who talk about thyroid replacement. Testosterone replacement therapy. I'm just not one of them. What is the? Hold on. I'm 52. Had diabetes since 30 years old. You're 50. Yeah, 22 years. That's a while, man. What type of diabetes? Type 2 diabetes? You've had type 2 diabetes, or is it type 1 diabetes? Which one did you have? Well, if it's got type 2 diabetes, you gotta have that day, man. You gotta have that day. The day that turns your life around. The day that you said is enough, man. I'm doing the work. I'm doing the work. What the 14-day challenge? I'm interested. The 14-day challenge, T, is for my individuals who are seriously ready for change, who've gotten to the point where they've had that day that I was telling you about, the day that turned their life around, the day that said enough is enough. I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to struggle with my diabetes. I don't want to struggle and all that stuff. The 14 days is this. It's a blueprint. It's a blueprint for people who gotten to the point where just like, I've had diabetes for so long. I'm motivated, man, but I just don't know what to do. I don't know where to start. I don't know what to do. I don't know. That's what it is. It's basically like a boot camp for your blood sugar. If your blood sugar's been out of control, been on a roller coaster for many, many years, and you haven't been able to get it stable, like I ain't been able to get it below 200, Kelley. Well, the people who have joined the 14-day blood sugar reset challenge, those people are getting their numbers under there. Why? It's because 42 meals, 14 days, 42 meals, all designed by me. It is a blueprint. All you do is this. All you do is show up, do the work, do it again tomorrow. That's it. Show up, do the work, do it again tomorrow. That's it. You go get the groceries, you cook the groceries, you eat the groceries, you get the results, just like everybody else has been getting. Where do you sign up for it? Right here. Click right up here. Click this picture on my picture again. This is for my people who have gotten to the point where change isn't just desired, folks. It's downright necessary. That's what the 14-day challenge is about. Right here. I took all the guesswork out of it for you. All the guesswork out of it for you. Right here. There it is. All the guesswork's been taken out of it for you. We're getting ready to get out of here in like 3 minutes, folks. But here it is. 14-day blood sugar reset challenge. Click it, accept the challenge. It says $99 to join the challenge. But the discount code is SAVE20. SAVE20. That is the live discount code, folks. It is $99 to join the 14-day blood sugar reset challenge. But how you join the challenge is here. Use the discount code SAVE20. And instead of $99, you're joining the challenge for $79. It says $99. You're going to join the challenge for $79. Use the live discount code SAVE20. That's it. That's for my action takers. That's for my people who are ready for the blue pill. Ready for the red pill. Sorry. For my people who are ready for the red pill, that's what the 14-day blood sugar reset challenge is all about. Discount code SAVE20. How do you subscribe? You subscribe right here. Should be able to subscribe right here. There's a little star down here somewhere. You can subscribe here, and that's a good one. Every Saturday at 12 noon, we do live coaching. Live 12 noon Central Standard Time. We do live coaching every Saturday right here on TikTok. Every Saturday. We're not doing a regular class like this. We're doing straight up just answering your questions up close and personal. It's live coaching. You come onto the stage, you tell us what you got going on, we're going to get you right. We're going to get you right. So that's what it is, folks. That's how you subscribe. That's how you subscribe. That's what the subscription is all about when you subscribe to this. Yeah. And then also 7 a.m. to 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. That's when we come on Monday through Saturday. That's when we're here, folks. But here's the thing, folks. I'm going to leave y'all with this. We're getting ready to get up out of here. And then, like I told y'all before, look for me at the game tonight. Look for me at the Monday night football game tonight. I'm going to be the guy out there wearing the Bucks stuff, like the Bucks chains. And like, even though it's in Houston, I lived in Houston for 11 years. I'm a Bucks fan. So I'm going to be the guy out there. That guy just like, look at all these people out here wearing white with all the Houston stuff. And I've been living in Houston for 11 years, but I'm a diehard Bucks fan. Look for me at the game tonight, folks. Monday Night Football. I'll be there. Yeah, you're quite welcome, Miss Prissy. But here's the thing I'm going to leave y'all with, folks. Join them, take the quiz. Go understand and learn your diabetes management style. Click the link in my bio. Register for the quiz. Take the masterclass. It's absolutely free. It's a free masterclass, folks. Only thing you got to pay is attention. The 14-day blood sugar reset challenge. You know about that one. Use the live discount code SAVE20. You're joining the challenge for $79. There's also a PDF as well. It's a free PDF. PDF is going to break down that whole lifestyle medicine formula. How to defeat diabetes once and for all. How to beat basically chronic health conditions once and for all. But here's what I'm going to leave y'all with, folks. Here's what I'm going to leave y'all with. It's all about choices. It's about the choices that we make that will determine our future. So with that being said, when we're born, we look like our parents. Hold on. It froze on me. Here it is. When we're born, folks, we look like our parents. It's choice time. When we're born, that's what we look like. Oh, who's he look like? Who's he look like? Does he look like the mom or the dad? Like, who's he look like? The point being is you look like your parents when you're born. But when you die, we look like our choices.